Hello everybody and welcome to the Teletext Sofa Club. Tonight is a Ceefax anniversary special. It's been 10 years since the sad, unfortunate death of Teletext, of Ceefax here in the UK, and it was switched off on the 23rd of October 2012 in Northern Ireland. But tonight we're going to bring it back. Teletext is brought back in the form of the Sofa Club live stream. Now, I did say today was going to be a special edition. Well, we've got something for you. A little treat here, which I think you will all love. Now, you remember a certain person called Mort Smith, because we've had him on some of the previous podcasts, live from the block party, or at least one. Go and check that out if you haven't. But tonight, he's back in pre-recorded form. That's right, Carlos Attrell, my able co-host here on this podcast, live stream thingy, interviewed Mort at the block party in April 2022. And Carl is going to be here with me later on. But first, here is the recording. We're going to start with the recording. If we can get the tech to work. I have to stop my video first, otherwise it all goes crazy. Right. Mort Smith at Teletext Block Party, you should see right now. 24th of April 2022. Interviewed by Carlos Attrell. Recorded by Peter Kwan. Now before this begins, I should say you will hear the interview/discussion in progress. Because Peter Kwan had the excellent idea of recording this, it wasn't a scheduled block party talk. It was just a bit of a conversation that broke out, an impromptu conversation. And Peter Kwan had the nous to record it approximately halfway through. But we have a mammoth 21 minutes here for you to listen to. Now apologies for the background sound, but you should be able to tell what's going on, and that settles down a little bit later on. And so here it is, the world premiere of Mort Smith at the block party. Enjoy.
Sitting in an office, chaining cigarettes, waiting until they're called out to do something
Exactly.
special, which
Yeah,
is
that's
what
right.
the BBC was, really.
Yeah.
They had a separate room for everybody.
Yeah. Well, this current government appears to be intent on privatising Channel 4 and B, making the BBC not public funded, not funded by licensing, which I think is very sad.
Yeah, it is. It's the irony is really it's sort of like that Channel 4 was born of a sort of a Margaret Thatcher thing, really.
Yeah.
It's a sort of
That's the real irony of it.
Made a soft public enterprise.
Yeah.
And it's ironic now that we're through those years, and now it's going to be sort of like, well, personally, Amazon are just going to come in and sweep that up. I mean, the amount of Amazon content that's coming through now, you've got the US Open final that with Amazon logo in it, and that just piped through. I can just see that now being a conduit for like a streaming service, certainly.
Yeah.
But I think that's the direction of travel now. I don't think, maybe like 4 channels as it was at the time, you needed that, and now it's all driven on that. So, bringing it back to Teletext, it really, that's the indirect child of the, Channel 4 really.
Yeah.
It's driven everything on.
I have to say, and I'm sure Peter would agree with me, that working in Teletext in the early stages was such fun. It was exciting. You were breaking new ground all the time. From an engineering point of view, it must have been fantastic fun, I should think.
Well, I wasn't there from the beginning. I was there from 2000, which was when I think it was just beginning to wind down.
Right.
But, we had a.
When did the internet actually begin? The World Wide Web.
It became popular in the mid-90s.
Right.
So it's clear that Teletext wasn't going to win the lottery.
Yeah.
But it certainly was a lot of fun because we had one of these boffins called Peter Whitesell.
I know Peter.
He was, he'd make something simple, turn it into something very, very complicated.
Yeah.
Then he'd give it to me to implement. So it was...
Well, you got all the good jobs, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Stuff like fast text. Why you have to have one bit from here and one bit from there and then reverse that one. You can't have an 8, you have to have a 0. Right. Because of reasons. And we came up with the most complicated schemes for press fax. He insisted it had to be ideal format B, which is...
Press fax was the internal information system around the BBC, wasn't it?
It was internal, yes, but...
Not just BBC?
It was just BBC and me, because they broadcasted it on BBC One and BBC Two.
Right.
So if you had a suitable receiver like that box in the corner,
right,
you could actually receive all of their schedules down to 1/25th of a second.
Right.
So that was, yeah, it was fun working in the background of Ceefax and Teletext, going into the control room at the BBC.
Yeah.
And, thinking, what would happen if I pulled that plug?
It must be very tempting from time to time, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to probably call it kids of Blue Peter, whatever. Or switched in 4:3 aspect ratio. But I stuck to my own bit of area of expertise.
The possibilities are endless, aren't they? Sorry, I'll do a mic back.
Not at all, Mort. I'd love to give you the mic back and ask you loads of questions about this.
No, go for it.
Yeah, so I'll give you this one.
There you go.
I'll take that one. Thank you, Peter. Okay, right. So I'm picking on the Intel fax here because I can lift it with one hand.
Right.
The Intel fax bid is you can prop a door open with it, or even jack a car up cleaning it up. So it really is good. But to just give you an idea of the amount of work that goes into a bid, we've got here a questionnaire that was sent out to Teletext users. We've got some findings at the back here. And it gives you a good snapshot of when, obviously, this bit was put in. What was it? Early 1980s, was it?
Yes. I think, when did I join Intelfax? 1983.
Yeah.
So that would have been late 84, beginning of 85, I think.
Oh right. Okay. So this will be. It tells you in 1984 probably where Teletext hasn't hit its critical mass yet. You've still got a lot of people without the decoder in the television, so they weren't able to access it. So people are probably going next door or seeing in-laws and turning on their text service. But we've got here, which is the main teletext service used by the respondent. So the Oracle out of men, 23 men. It's just like a percentage, I guess.
Yes.
So 23% said that of men used Oracle, but 56% of men used Ceefax. But when you move over to women as a demographic, Oracle get a few more back. The 33% of women use Oracle, but still 43% of women use Ceefax. So all the way through, the Ceefax is the sort of like the go-to. Is the go-to service. Why do you think that was, Mort?
I think partly because the BBC did a lot more promotion of Teletext than ITV did. And that really goes back to what I was saying before about the ITV companies. Although they jointly owned Oracle, they were a bit nervous about it because obviously ratings are key if you're selling advertising. I mean, they're key to any broadcaster. But if you're trying to make money out of the number of people watching your channel, that's a big deal. And I think that for a long while the ITV companies thought that it was something they had to do, Teletext, because the BBC were doing it, but they didn't push it very hard. whereas the BBC were doing things like Ceefax is here, this is Ceefax, etc., and promoting it fairly heavily in the regions as well.
Yeah, and coming through in the next table along, they actually they go into some further depth. And you know, there's about 14 or 15 reasons here, and predominantly Ceefax is preferred in all of these. You know, better information, news, programme information, children's entertainment. But you know, there's not a huge disparity to the two. But the one that actually sticks out the most more is preference to Oracle is higher and better layout. And so we're looking at in 19. So if I want to bring Jason in on this, so what sort of format were Oracle using in 1984, and what sort of format were the big and Ceefax? What were they using?
In terms of what?
Well, this survey says that a lot of the respondents here preferred the layout of the ITV service.
So it's actually, if you look at those two screens over there, they're both Ceefax. That's what I mean by the layout, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm quite surprised to hear you say that the public actually preferred the layout of Oracle.
Yes, yeah, it's in black and white.
Right.
So page 42, yeah. It's, and the horoscopes are better as well.
Well, that wouldn't be difficult because the BBC didn't do horoscopes.
No. Oh, and the holidays as well, which is a McGovern as well. They don't do holidays either. Anybody, internet. Yeah. Ceefax don't do holidays, but it's really interesting stuff, and I can see why you won the bids. You've really done your homework. That sort of stuff.
Well, again, you know, we always tended to put a lot of effort into the bids that we put together for editorial services. I mean, for a long while, Fortel was the only contract that Teletext had, and the second one was S4C, Spectel. And that was a Welsh service, a Welsh language service. So we ended up employing Welsh-speaking journalists in London to create the Welsh pages that went out on Spectel. Spectel used to use a lot of Fortel pages because obviously a lot of the programmes that went out on S4C were in English.
Yes.
So they just used to lift the stuff from the Fortel service. But what made it different was the fact that we had 4 Welsh-speaking journalists working out of London, putting it together. And those two, Fortel and Spectel, we ran for about 3 years, I think, maybe 4 years. And then we got Super Channel.
Now what you see, there's a teletext printout. I don't see. That's not a thermal paper, I hope.
If you take any...
This is. So I've got some prints outside of thermal paper.
I'd say no, I didn't want to hold it if it was a thermal one. I don't want to mark it up.
Right. So that was the third programme-related service that we started. And really, it sort of snowballed from there. As more and more satellite and cable broadcasters came online,
Yes.
we were jumping in with both feet.
Yeah.
Almost immediately they came on air saying, would you like a teletext service?
You were to go to Teletext set-up service, you could just be parachuted in and set up. So the Super Channel, that was on ESB, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, the Marco Polo satellite.
That's right.
That's the one. Yeah.
And you've got a memory.
Yeah, no, it's Rathbourne Place. That's my favourite computer magazine is there. Your Sinclair was Rathbourne Place. Yeah, off Tottenham Court Road.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Super Channel. That was, and again, I think that's probably where you've got sort of groundbreaking information service going to perhaps an outlet that isn't going to reach the people that it wants to reach, maybe.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think it did reasonably well because Super Channel was actually owned by the Dutch. It was a Dutch company.
I see.
And it was obviously going out all over Holland. And the NOS were big in teletext. They spent a lot of money, put a lot of effort into teletext. So I think they had a ready-made market in Holland.
Yes.
And when we came along, as it turned out, probably just before NOS did,
Yes.
said, would you like a service? They said yes.
So did NOS at any point say, or would you like to put any of your sort of like marks on anything for their terrestrial services at all?
No.
Because NOS, I do remember like living in the east, whenever the sun came out, I would start getting NOS 1 come over on TVDX. Yeah, you wouldn't get the sound carrier because that came through differently, but they'd be showing Neighbours or something like that, you know. So whenever your high pressure came in, the TV would distort, you knew you could turn into about 35 UHF,
right,
and then you'd get NOS through. But they would only start broadcasting in the afternoon. They would actually do pages of their teletext service when they were off air.
right.
But their teletext service was like, it was like a blue screen with yellow writing.
Yeah.
And they had a bar on the side that went down when the page was about to change. So it's basically a timer.
Like a frame bar?
Yeah, a frame bar. So I was wondering whether that would be like a level 2 or a level 2.5, or whether that would just be like their own insert they use.
I think that would have been too early for level 2 or level 2.5.
Yeah.
I mean, we were only just starting to play around with level 2 as I left in Teletext in 2001.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been way before that happened. Yeah. But after Super Show, we started doing things for UK Gold, UK Living.
Well, this is capturing.
I can't remember half of them. You used to do the programme listings, but this is what my wife did.
This is 30 years ago.
On Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
Discovery,
yeah.
Look where that is now, it's part of the Disney Empire.
That's right, yeah.
Would you want water?
Yeah, lovely.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
One coming over. That's it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
G-Break.
Oh yeah. No worries. And I like the bag. 4 sports fans.
Yes.
There's a blue.
This was a bit of merchandising that they did.
It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. And they sponsored a school football team for a little while. Teletext sponsored a school football team for a little while, and they all had these bags, and they had the name on the shirts.
Yeah. So the Fortel logo on the chest of the shirts.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought it along just because we used to do a lot of merchandising on Fortel.
Right.
I'm really sorry that we ran a service called Gallery. Do you remember Gallery?
Does anyone remember Gallery in Fortel?
Yeah, video. Right, okay.
You'll have to elaborate.
Okay. The idea was that we realised fairly early on that people love teletext graphics, like those on the screen appearing up there. So we said, okay, we're going to send out packs which have got a teletext grid printed, and we're going to invite people to design their own teletext graphics and send them back into Fortel, and then we'll recreate them and put them up on air. They used to get the pack. They used to get a pack of coloured pens to colour it in the teletext colours.
Yes.
And I'm really annoyed. I never kept one, so it's long gone now.
Well, I know that Dan Farriman's has done something very similar on a few roadshows. He's done like Teletext Art Grids,
Right.
where people colour things in, and he would convert a picture in and upload it as well. So
I hope we gave you the idea.
exactly, and I know that ARD do in Germany as well.
Yeah, I know ARD.
So it's a brilliant concept. And it's still being used.
Right.
And it's funny when you look in some of the old computer magazines, how people used to sometimes grift like ZX81 software and go, oh yes, our programming pack includes graph paper and a pen.
Right.
with the at,
Very high tech.
Very high tech, proper draftsman stuff. Oh, this is beautiful. So we've got one of the merchandising is Intel Fax. And it's like a Matchbox car that's made by a company called
Ledo.
Yeah. Not made of Ledo, no kids. And it's got the dog on there, which I recognise.
14.
14, yes. That's beautiful, that.
Yeah, I was talking to Ian Irving actually, who created 14. And he was really sorry he couldn't make it. The problem is he lives in the middle of Scotland, so it was quite a long journey for him, and he's approaching his 80s now, so...
No, he's in his 80s.
He's in his 80s.
Well, that's yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, he's the best as far as teletext graphics are concerned. I know lots of people will argue with me, but I just think he had such a brilliant eye. And he came up with the idea for 40, I did. And he came into my office one day and said, oh, this idea, can we do a Teletext cartoon series? So I said, yeah, they laughed, idea. I went, no, I've got it straight out of my head. And that was the birth of 14. And it was incredibly successful, 14. I think for a while, is it MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, had 4T as their mascot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's incredible, because if anything happens with the internet, it tends to go down with MIT first, and it's where the later side tends to be how things are for the next 25 years online. So,
I know we were very honoured to have when they contacted and said, do you mind if we have 40 as our mascot?
Well, that's certainly praise indeed, absolutely. That's incredible. It's incredible. So, the 14, the animation and the comic obviously was then taken on. Mr Biffo did Turn of the Worm and things like that. But you can tell when I saw the dog, I knew instantly the artist. And yesterday at the roadshow, we were talking about making art on the ZXNet editor that we'll be doing today, and we were commenting that we could recognise people's artwork just in the techniques that they adopt. And you know, even the placement of a couple of pixels can make the difference between a Raquel Myers or a Steve Forson.
Yeah.
And you can get to see something straight away. And we were having much fun about your cruise ship. And I believe the last time you were here, you set a world record for a cruise ship on a BBC. I can't remember how many seconds was that produced in.
I'll take your word for that.
You're very quick at your cruise ship.
Yeah, the cruise ship was quick. And my other party trip.
That's the one we did yesterday.
Yeah, one needs some assistance there, so if you could replace that abysmal effort later on today, please, that would be much appreciated.
I was trying to remember the last time I actually created a teletext
When we were
graphic.
here.
It was probably when we were here the last time, that cruise ship. It's a long while since I've done it. I'll give it a go. So,
Well, we've got a laptop there. If you have a cup of tea and have a twiddle, as they say, graphics.
And I know Colin McIntyre, who was the editor of Ceefax, when we were showing people around, he used to make sure I was on duty. And he'd say, of course, we can make the headers using teletext graphics. And he used to get me to produce the word headlines, but with no teletext graphic characters. So it was 555 equals 5, 555, W5, U4, all the way across the word headlines, and then I'll put the characters in at the end and it would come up saying headlines.
This is incredible. We were talking about this yesterday. So in the early days, you'd have one graphics terminal on the desk, on the floor. So we were walking in your shoes last night and thought, well, if you got so proficient at it, you could just whack it out on the terminal and you wouldn't even need to visit. And so that actually stands up to what we talked about yesterday, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah, we were talking about WYSIWYG editors, and there being no such thing as a WYSIWYG editor in Teletext. It's always a WYGIWYG. What you get is what you get.
I like that. I've not heard that before. What you get is what you get. It's absolutely true.
Well, then you have a couple of tips which you can absolutely bring value. You know, we've sort of jumped on you both.
That's all right. It's our pleasure. Why we came.
No, it's brilliant. So thank you very much. Have a cup of tea, and then when you're ready, we want you to show us how it's done on the editor.
No pressure here at all, then.
No pressure, but you will get a round of applause. Thank you very much. Cheers.
You're welcome. Cheers.
So that was indeed the world-famous Mr. Mort Smith, alongside Julie Morton-Smith, and Grim Fandango was in there, and Peter Kwan, who indeed was the person, the very, very kind and ingenious person who recorded that for us. Thank you very much, Peter. And hello, Peter, if you're out there listening to this right now. So, the interviewer, oh, hold on. I'm back, hello. So the interviewer there was Mr. Carlos Attrell, who will be joining me tonight. In fact, he might be there. Hello, Carl.
Hello, Dan. You all right?
Hey, right on cue, right on cue. So, do you remember much about that interview?
I was surprised about how much we actually got because, we were sort of like just chuntering away about all sorts. I think they had the bid out, and we were going through the whole Intel Fax bid, and yeah, some really interesting discussions about the future of Channel Four and everything. And I remember the voice recorder just being sort of dispatched um, towards the end of the conversation. So I'm pleased that we got some of that. It was very good.
Yeah, it's an absolute gem, and we're very, very grateful to Peter Kwan for thinking about recording it. And we apologize for the noise in the background, but that's what you get with the Teletext block party. There's always lots of little things going on, and I assume there were people having little presentations and conversations at the same time. Is that right, Carl?
Yeah, so we were sitting in the middle of the of the room, just at a desk, just chattering away. A few people were listening in around us, but yeah, there was a lot going on, like with visitors coming in, wanting to look at the exhibits as well. So there was a lot of conversations going on in and around where we were as well. So it was buzzing, really. I think that's probably the definition of a buzzing atmosphere.
Oh, that's magnificent. It's great to see that even after coronavirus, Teletext has really kicked in again. The block party is back to its former glory. What do you say?
Absolutely, I second that. I'm quite lucky because obviously Cambridge is just down the road to me. So that's always quite good. But yeah, I'm really pleased that they're all back up and running. I'm hoping to go further afield over the next couple of years.
Oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? Well, I'm sure the block party will be back next year. Until then, you can make do with these Sofa Club live streams. But yeah, the physical meetup, I'm sure it'll be back, and hopefully I'll be able to attend.
Oh, fingers crossed, Dan. Fingers crossed.
Very much looking forward to that again. It's been far too long, I think. Far too long since I last attended one. So yeah, a great little interview that. More of a discussion, really, but so many good topics brought up. Now, I wanted to mention something here tonight, and it's a bit of a promo for our next show, really, but Mort mentioned that he worked on Ceefax in Chicago. Does he know, potentially, who perpetrated the Max Headroom incident?
Well, I've had the pleasure of meeting with Mort recently, and he was working in Chicago, as you say, at Ceefax. He was running a UHF teletext service there, and world exclusive. He was unaware of the Max Headroom broadcast intrusion. So I sent him the Endless Thread podcast, and I think he'll be up to date with that pretty soon. But he was very familiar with the what was being sort of like broadcast and all that at the time, him being there at the time. So I think he'd find that very interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe he'd like to watch our next edition of the Teletext Sofa Club coming in November. But enough about that. Enough about that. So you mentioned you met up with Mort. So is this for your Teletext People podcast series by any chance, Carl?
It is, Dan. Yes, I've not been thinking about much else recently, but the first one that I've completed was the Mort and Julie interview, and that's now gone up live, and it's on more or less anywhere you fancy getting a podcast. And there's also a YouTube version of it as well, where you can just stare at a still picture and listen to things. So if you, however you take your podcasts, it will be there, and it's been very good feedback. It was an easy one to do because Mort, he does interview himself, and he's got a lot of good tales to tell. So it was a great start to the series, and just want to put it out there to anybody who is watching. If you haven't been contacted yet to be on this, you are on the list. I promise you. I am going to find you. I'm going to ask you whether you'd want to come in and join me, because we've got one in the can with you, haven't we, Dan?
Well, yes. That should be a lot of fun, I hope. Hopefully I was a good interviewee. I'm not often interviewed, although I'm interviewing other people, so it was a bit weird for me, really.
Yeah, it's quite strange. But what I've really enjoyed about the premise of this, the slight difference this for the people that watch our sofa clubs and Teletext are, this is I'm just rewinding right back. I'm just asking one question and seeing where that takes us, basically. So there's a lot of grounds that's been covered maybe already by Teletext Art, but it's a good social document, really, so people can perhaps look in the future and see what we all got up to, keeping Teletext alive, either sort of like being the rediscoverers of it, or the people who were in the engine room at the time. So yeah, hopefully there's a bit there for everyone. And well, yeah, I wouldn't want anyone sort of going, oh no, I'm not going to watch it because it's or listen to it because we've covered it before, because I've already discovered this. There's so many things that you just by assumption, you think and you don't. It's so yeah, they'll come out fortnightly, and there's a few in the can, as they say. But there's a lot more to come. There's a lot of people that I'm yet to contact, but I don't want to contact them and say, oh, it would be 3 or 4 weeks. I want to just see if I can speak to people and get a recording of what their thoughts are.
Okay, so guys, if you haven't listened to the first episode of Carl's Teletext People, it's a wonderful chronology of Mort Smith's career through his beginnings at Ceefax, through Intelfax, and to the end at the turn of the century. A whopping 90 minutes long. 90 minutes, that's a good chunk, guys. Yeah. That's more than your lunch break. That's a couple of lunch breaks worth of listens.
It's a traffic jam. It's the traffic jam you want to get stuck in. When you got Mort on the radio, that's the one you want to get stuck on. So it is it is really good. So we'll get a link up or something like that. And yes. I'm still quite new to the podcasting world. So if I say it's available on Apple and Amazon and Podbean, Podchaser, Pod this, pod that, it's everywhere basically. But sleepless nights just getting the thumbnail just right, because there's a couple of other episodes on there about other things as well. So it's like Bite High No Limit is the channel that I've launched it on, Bite High No Limit Productions. And it's really just sort of like just extracurricular stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot of ground, as you say, that we haven't covered on Teletext Art, and there's a lot of people we still haven't interviewed. So, and even if we did interview them, it would have been 2016, 2017. And the world landscape has changed so much since then. Teletext has changed. So much has happened. We've had Nathan Dane coming on the scene. What else have we had? More recent stuff. We've had MUTTLEE. That's a relatively new thing, I think. So lots of new tech is coming along, and
lots of new pages have been archived. I mean, Alistair's been doing excellent work on archiving Turn of the Worm and a few of the other projects that he's got on the go. And I've had a chat with Alistair as well, and since 2016, he maybe is actually looking for volunteers now to help him curate, the captures they're making, because the captures are becoming so much easier for them, and they're getting tapes being sent in like in by the box load, because they know that we can do this now, which is an excellent thing. But there is a need for, like, perhaps a new type of teletext art that's like a volunteer that can catalog some of this stuff, so we all know what we've got.
We really can make the University of Teletext Art, can't we?
Yeah, and this is all coming up for the 50th as well, so this and so it'll be a really good sort of, like, the idea is that there's a social history there. Becomes more of a phenomenon, about about a common medium that's brought a lot of people together.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sarah Burgess is in chat. She says, hello. I assume in that manner as well, or just hello. Hello, Sarah. Hello. Welcome to the Teletext Sofa Club. If you're just joining us, this is a Ceefax anniversary special. It is, unfortunately, 10 years since Ceefax disappeared from the vertical blanking interval on anti-Beeb, sadly. But tonight, we're going to bring it back. And Lano is here. He says, hello from Nuuk, Greenland.
Wow.
Do they have teletext in Greenland, Lano?
Ice. They got ice.
Yeah, ice, baby. Fantastic. So tonight, we're going to have a little bit of a presentation, an informal presentation. And all the slides are courtesy a certain Jason Robertson, Grim Fandango. Cheers, Jason. I've gone through his archive and selected, well, there's maybe about 30 pages in there that, well, I couldn't choose everything. There's so much that's happened in the history of teletext, but I've selected a few highlights that maybe we could discuss here on the podcast tonight. What do you think about that, Carl?
That sounds like a perfect proposition.
Perfect indeed. So we've got worldwide viewers, Greenland. We've got people on the American continent. Wow. Ah, dear. Right.
Well, if we could get someone, if Kara's about as well, we could be the live stream on which the sun never sets.
Yeah. 24/7 Teletext R. I don't know whether that would be a blessing or a nightmare, to be honest. Eternal darkness.
Equal for both host and viewer.
Yeah. Oh, just one more thing about the Mort podcast that you did before we move on to our presentation, our feature presentation. Just let a few people trickle in. It's your little story about the subtitling swear word. Could you expand upon that for us a little bit?
Yeah, okay. So we were talking about obviously the merits of subtitling, and that's that was the genesis of teletext in the first place. But it brought us onto a story that happened the day before we actually went up and did the interview, and it was Krishnan Guru Murphy was on Channel 4, and some strange things happened in the UK a couple of weeks ago. We had a crazy budget, and loads of economists were parachuted in to tell us what was going on. And Krishnan Guru Murphy's job was to ask this economist what she thought of it. He put forward what some politician thought of it to her, and she turned around and said, "Well, that's a load of bollocks." So at the end of the show, which is customary at the end of the show, he apologised. He said, "We've checked with the ITC, which is the Independent Television Commission. Their guidelines. They're the arbiters of the of what can be said on television at sort of like 7:30 in the evening. But he said, we've checked the rules, and that swear word, he wouldn't mention it again. He said, but that swear word is a level 2, which means it is acceptable, to be used in certain circumstances. It fell into a correct explanation. However, he did go on to issue a proper apology, because it was subtitled as bullocks and not bollocks. So he apologized for the live subtitles to be wrong.
That's brilliant. By the way, level 2 swear word. Does that support orange by any chance? Was it level 2.5?
Level 2.
Level 2.5.
I'd like to know what level 2.5 swearing would be. It's like with knobs on.
Level 2 is bullocks. Level 2.5 is bollocks. Yes. Which you should never mind, infamously. So Nathan Dane is here. Hey, Nathan. Unfortunately, he has to head off. But thank you for joining us. And hopefully you might join us again in the future. So cheers, Nathan.
I'll be in touch, Nathan. Don't run away.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be on your podcast. He's very, very willing and able to speak about his projects, and we'd love to hear about them. We always do.
Definitely. Yeah. That's right.
So yes, it is the 10th anniversary of the death of Ceefax, and I have prepared a fun little presentation for us all. Should we get started with that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. If we can get it to work. So first of all, we have to have the Teletext Sofa Club logo. It's a contractual obligation that we have with Sarah, the creator of the Teletext Sofa Club graphic that you see on screen right now.
Very nice.
Nice indeed, yeah. It's always great to see that. A wonderful piece of teletext artworkery. And I love the hole in the middle of the sofa as well. It's like you could just fall into the middle of it, couldn't you?
Yep, you know where that's where the remote is. It's so there's no point looking for it because you know it's in there somewhere.
It's just hidden
and
amongst
the odd pounds.
Yeah, 2p pieces. Hello, Uncle SQU. Oh, SQU. Hi. Welcome for the first time to the Teletext Sofa Club.
Have you got enough tabs open up there on your page there, Dan?
Well, this is only part one of the presentation.
Of course, yes.
Hello, Andrea. Andrea says, nice lettering. Andreas. Andreas. Apologies, Andreas. Alan. Andreas has the B pieces. I think I said that correct, Andreas. Sorry. Oh dear, I'm never going to live that down. Apologies. Yes, right. So, Ceefax was born, I believe, in 1973, but the first pages we have from our little presentation here are from 1975, courtesy Teletext archaeologist Grim Fandango.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
Cheers, Jason. He's not here tonight, but he might be. He'll be here in spirit, and indeed, he'll be watching the VOD, I'm sure. But this is a very, very early capture of the Ceefax. Now, look at the logo there, Carl. Why is there there's a slight curve at the end of the C there that's not present? Oh, is this a little bit like the F there later on in the logo? That's an interesting little stylistic decision, I think.
Yes, when we were when we found the Ceefax logo from 1981, we found that quite curious that it was completely unworkable on teletext format, and so that was quite, if they could pull that over, maybe that's where the curly C had sort of had its inception, and they really wanted to move with it because. I don't know. I guess back in the day, it's sort of like they wanted it to look sort of futuristic, but at the same time look like a newspaper. So it's probably like they've met halfway with the logo, perhaps.
Well, yes. Nathan Dane says teletext must be one of the few mediums where it's much harder to do uneven letters rather than regular. And you must remember that right at the beginning, it must have been very, very difficult to learn how to code graphics, because in those days you had to hit all different manner of button combinations to get these graphics to appear.
And as Mort said in the interview leading up to the stream, he would know what headline to whack in by pressing 555 space U space W space and then just hitting the character mode right at the end, just to turn all the text into the graphical headline. So it took a special knack, and I would imagine that Ceefax would have to be made on each page as well that you were doing it on, so you couldn't just save it and paste it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Back in those days, it was very primitive. They still hadn't developed some of the technologies. It's actually interesting listening to your podcast that you did, that as time went on, I don't think this was Ceefax, I think this was at Intelefax, but there was a coder looking over people's shoulder to see what they were doing and see if there was anything they could do to improve the technology. So it was an ever-developing thing at the BBC or Intelefax.
Well, yeah, I think that was the programmer that went over to Chicago, wasn't it? He was watching the how they were doing it, and he was asking all sorts of questions. And then takes their feedback back and then sort of like puts it automatically in the style for them, so they're not having to do things themselves. It's all done automatically, and then he runs off and builds a jolly big machine that will do it all for him. So yeah, and that's where a lot of the technology came from. And then when obviously going back to Intel Fax afterwards, it was all there ready, sort of like automatic InVision or on view pages that could automatically scroll around in carousels and stuff. It was all born a necessity in his time in the United States.
Ah, yes, but that's a little bit later on. We're still here in 1975, aren't we?
Of course.
Right at the birth of Ceefax, when very few people had access to the service, only the techists. People like Lawrence Cook at Cityfax on Twitter was one of the early trailblazers, making his own inserters. So that was 1975.
One question before you move over there, Dan.
Yep.
You look on the magazine, the carousel header, page 150 is what page we're on now, and you look at where it's landed at page 150A. So there was obviously room for some hexadecimal shenanigans there via a keypad, maybe.
Yeah, but those types of controller had yet to be invented, Carl.
Well, I think they were available on some of the handsets, but only on the engineering ones. So it might be that the 150A might have been an engineering test page that was coming in on the side of the normal 150. So yeah, I think your engineers would be able to access those pages because there was, although the original service only carried 26 pages, it had another 4 pages for engineering. It's amazing what you pick up, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey, you're becoming an expert on teletext, Carl.
No. It's just all in your mind.
Oh, well, Andreas says, for short, call me Andreas. I will.
Oh.
And Borussia Dormat says, up the ticks. We have resident Wigan Athletic supporter tonight.
Yeah, come on, you R's.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll not go into that.
No, not
go into the.
It's a teletext broadcast. It's not nothing to do with you ticks.
Right. So we're still in 1975 here, and here is a page explaining what Ceefax is. And we've got a little bit of teletext graphics at the bottom there, always wonderful to see. So Ceefax is an exciting new dimension in television, a means of presenting printed news and information on the screen. The viewer with a Ceefax decoder built into or added into his set has instant push-button access to a variety of pages which use words and colors. Now, what a novelty for 1975 called color. Back in the days of, I believe, black and white television. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but we had black and white TV right up till 1986. So yeah, it was to see something in color on a color TV with the vivid color set that you have on Ceefax is it's a real novelty, because I mean the color on a TV set on the broadcast transmissions back then, they could have been quite either oversaturated or the other way, a bit washed out. So to get some nice vivid colors through Ceefax must have been really nice for the viewer. And I reckon they must have had a few quid as well at that time, a color TV and a decoder. Yeah,
it's a little bit like how snooker became popular on television because the color television really brought out the contrast in the different colors, the bright balls. And likewise, Ceefax, I think, did the same. If you look at the colors they had available to them, all very bright, and they all pop out at you. They all serve a different function, actually, without wanting to get too much into color theory. But yeah, the teletext colors all... Everybody has a different teletext color, put it that way. They're all so great.
Yeah, I think, to probably articulate what you're saying, I guess, teletext was to color TV what David Attenborough documentaries are to HD TV. You know, it sort of brings a whole new world out. You know, you can use you know, you can get some really detailed pictures and things like that. So yeah, it's a real eye opener when you can get a killer app for something.
The killer app that we still have today, still have it. And yeah, I believe it is an exciting new dimension. It's still exciting and at the forefront of technology because people are playing around with it.
And one more nerdy thing as well, page 160 and then the Ceefax 160 is a different, they use the number 0 in one bit, but it's a different 0 on the other. You know, you got the 30th of August at 23:20, and you can see that the zeros are more O's, and then it's actually a proper numerical 0 on the user input part.
Do you remember when Jason Robertson was here in April 2021 on one of our first live streams? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Well, he brought that up, and actually, Jason went on to produce a little show called, was it InVision, where he went through the earliest versions of Ceefax. Well, we don't want to trample all over his work tonight,
no. Yeah,
which is why we're only gonna. That's why we're only gonna go through a few of the pages from 75 today.
Cool.
So, incidentally, this first part of the presentation is the 70s. And then we'll have two other parts later on. Borussia Doormat says 2022 is the 5th anniversary of the death of Orgon Latics. Oh, that's, yeah, I remember that. That was a fanzine, wasn't it? A Wigan Athletic fanzine. Yeah, well, do you remember the fanzines on Ceefax? A little bit later on than this, I believe. But let's move to the next slide. Oh, it has to reload. Doodle-doodle-doo. We'll have to play some Ceefax music while it loads. So very early on in Ceefax, Charivari was instated, or Charivari. We're not sure how it's pronounced. Nobody is. We'll have to ask
no one
Mort.
in the world knows pronunciation.
Yeah. But Charivari was the lighter side of the news, because if you remember, Teletext has always been about journalism and the news. And this was more of a fun, you remember, and finally on ITV News, it was a little bit like that. So something interesting about this page, Nathan Dane says, in the early days, subpages were lettered rather than numbered. So 150A was just the first subpage. And here down in the bottom right, you can see highlighted page A of B. So they weren't numbered. They were lettered, which is an interesting thing that they changed. I wonder why.
Well, don't know, maybe like A and B sides of a record or something.
Yeah, oh yes, I didn't think of that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the A side and the B side. But I always used to enjoy the Charivari, and there was an ITV equivalent as well, which was always a lot of fun. And that was instated very early. In fact, you remember talking about curation earlier with Alistair. Well, maybe somebody could curate a collection of Charivari pages. That would be cool. That would be an interesting read.
Absolutely.
Andreas asks, are there any fanzines on Teletext that exist still to this day? It's an interesting question, but not that I can think of from the foreign services that still exist, the European services, I should say, apologies, that still exist. But certainly in the UK, we had the magazine and a few other fanzine-like services. There was one called The Buzz, I do believe. Was it called The Buzz? Something like that, on Oracle.
Yeah, it was Buzz. I guess Digitizer was to an extent, wasn't it? So,
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, people could write in, couldn't they? And it would be published, the letters page.
What's a Picasso?
Yes, a Picasso.
Well, there's DM in the corner.
Oh, DM, yes. Dennis Macaulay, Jason suggests that might be. So we've got a few more pages here from August in 1975. A few experiments, I do believe. Look at that. That's nice, isn't it?
That's very nice.
I like the use of all the different teletext colors. And there we go.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Teletext boxes. And finally, here we go. We assume this is a Mort Smith creation because he's got another party trick where he types in a load of numbers and letters, then clicks a button, and magically all that garbled text appears as a ship. So we're assuming that this is by him. And it's always good to see very early teletext art because up until this was recovered by Jason last year, or a couple of 2020, there was very, very little in the way of early teletext art from the 70s. And this fills in the gap very nicely. Now, one day, maybe I'd like to go into more the teletext art side of things. Maybe we'll do another presentation another day. But I'd like to comment about how, look at those symbols down at the bottom there, Carl. They're not seen in the current typeface of teletext, are they?
No. I wonder if they were user defined, or wonder what character it would have been, because it's like a forward slash, but it's right the way down, isn't it? About 30 degrees. Yeah, and it lends itself to waves very well.
Yeah, I think Jason mentioned that right at the beginning, they had a different character set, and they used a classical divide sign, as you can see at the bottom, which is slightly different from we'd call it a backslash these days. I don't know what they would have called them in the 70s. Now, Lano and who was it? Borussia Dortmund mentioned football and fanzines, but I do remember this week somebody posted, and I've retweeted it, a Darlington fan. I think they used to archive Darlington related pages from Teletext, and certainly there was coverage for all of the 92 biggest clubs in England, all the Football League clubs, and they had their own individual fanzine reporters. So it was like a little fanzine, football fanzine on Teletext. Do you remember that, Carl?
I don't, I'm afraid. No, it's yeah, I don't remember anything about that at all. Was it on a particular channel?
Ooh, I think it was on ITV. We can get that up a little bit later, I think. Remind me and we'll have a look. But a wonderful, wonderful piece of early teletext art there, combining text and graphics mode, which I find are always the best artworks because you can get the full range of different effects that way. Now, next up,
the weather before the days of held graphics.
Yeah, the classical weather. And this was for Boxing Day as well. Cloudy, drizzle, rather cloudy.
Mainly flatulence if it's Boxing Day. Mainly Goldfinger.
Oh, are you talking about a parody page that somebody made?
No, it was just if that's been made, hats off to them. But yeah,
it might have been you that made it.
No, I don't think I did a parody page of that.
Somebody
Maybe
has
I
done.
should.
Somebody's done. I remember what it was, an apocalypse version of the weather. So
yeah.
zombie apocalypse, you know, that sort of thing. What else? What are the film apocalypti? Are there apocalypti? Yeah. So that crocodile.
A crocodile. What?
So where is it generally mild in the afternoon on this? Because there is no cyan area of the map.
Maybe that's just like a narrative for the whole country. Generally mild in the afternoon. So it's like cloudy and drizzle, rather cloudy, mainly dry, but generally mild in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Except for viewers in the Isle of Skye or the Channel Islands by the looks
Yeah,
of it.
I was going to say it's for Rockall, isn't it? Generally mild in the afternoon on Rockall, but cloudy and drizzle elsewhere. Good old Rockall. As this one loads. Oh, here we go. Yes, this is an example of ASCII art or teletext style, ASCII style art. It's not ASCII art, but today we might recognize it as such. It's teletext art in the text mode. And look at that, merry, happy Christmas app. It says, happy Christmas, happy Christmas, happy Christmas app.
Yeah.
Oh, I really like that though. It's an example of this type of text art being applied in the early days. And it reminds me of typewriter art. I don't know if you guys have seen any examples of that, but
I've tried typewriter art on teletext and it's not easy. And yeah, but they seem to be quite big in the 30s of all the image things that I can get on the internet. But yeah, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating.
yes, they used to have little typewriter art competitions sponsored by Olivetti and people like that, which I think were probably the closest you're going to get to this type of art on Ceefax. So sorry, we're still in 1975, by the way, so things were a little bit experimental yet, but I love this. I love it so much. I love how the letters form some sort of pattern as well, a vertical, a diagonal pattern, which is good. So let's see what we have next. I think we have some more 1975 stuff. There's quite a lot of stuff from 75. Here it is. It's Santa. And what is he doing? Well, kids, I think you better look away.
He's sitting on the pot, isn't he?
Why is there a toilet on the roof?
Or is he playing Sega?
Oh, he could be, yeah. Is that a television at the bottom?
Yeah, it'd be the Magnavox Odyssey in those days, though, wouldn't it? Really, it wouldn't be. Don't think you've ever had the anything else.
No. Well, he might. He's probably on teletext.
I love his hashed eyes as well.
Yep. Yeah, he looks like he's drunk.
Can't believe he's pooing down a chimney. I mean, that's terrible.
I know. How did that get past the sensors? I like in the background, there's a TV aerial as well. Always good to see those creep in. And the chimney to the right there. Well, I just thought I'd include that because I thought it was rather humorous. He's very blocky, isn't he? He's keeping it blocky. Do you think his poo is blocky as well?
You're worrying he's going to block something up.
It's a blocky poo. Yes. Right, so I believe one more from 1975. And this, if I remember, oh, here we go. This is fun. Christmas TV. This page is being changed. Oh, Andreas says, Santa is playing Bam Sottled. Right, so still in 1975. This page is being changed. It's the most exciting page on Ceefax. And Jason has actually compared this to a certain other page on the website that happened in 2020. So here's the same thing in December 2020 when they were updating the database containing the COVID restrictions, 1975. So not much has changed through the years, I do not think. Now look how the V is more like a U there. But you know what it is because it's next to the T. You know that it's a TV.
Yes. It accommodates the full stops either side.
Yeah, and I like the 1975 font, which is quite a bit different than the one we have these days. There's something so retro about it, isn't there?
Yeah, there definitely is. It's But yeah, everything stylistically is the same, isn't it? It's just it's funny how you can get sort of like a like a feel of a time just from a typeface. It's very strange.
Yeah, I think you just associate it with that time. And I think that might be blessed through alphanumerics on display there. Good old blessed through. Oh, we've already seen that. So I think this must be the last page from 75. Oh, no, it's not. Right. I'm going to stop saying that. So another thing that Ceefax was very good at was graphs. And here's an example of the financial index, I believe. Is that Financial Times or the FTSE?
Yeah, that'd be the Financial Times index, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how to decipher this, but it's a good example of how Ceefax was very good for displaying information. And well, that's one of the reasons why the graphics mode was implemented. And here it is in action. Now, I don't think I have a picture of it here, but one of the early uses of Ceefax was for farming news. And that used a lot of graphs as well. So that is representing graphs. And there we go. There are the exchange rates.
Exchange rates.
There are the exchange rates.
Cool. You used to be able to get $2.10 to the pound.
Yeah. Wow. Those heady days, Carl? Those heady days.
Aye. And then look, all these forgotten currencies now. Look, so some quiz questions there. Look, shillings for Austria.
Yeah, I mean,
guilders for Holland, lira for Italy.
Who uses the yen anymore? Nobody uses the yen.
Well, I think a few Japanese would probably disagree with you there, but isn't it funny though? They used to like say, "Oh yeah, this new computer's coming out. It's only cost like so many thousand yen." It sounds like a bloody fortune, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look what people are saying here in the comments. The Deutschmark rate looks a bit dodgy.
Let's have a look.
But yeah,
39 marks. Yeah,
that's one thing that I should say here is that some of these are not going to be 100% correct in the recovery.
Yes, there might be a few numbers missing from the recovery there, I reckon.
Yeah. So ZX Guesser is here. He says, evening. He was getting his dinner. Is dinner Batman.
What's happening on the Discord at the moment? We left everybody on the Discord.
Yeah, we've left them alone. We're not doing well. Actually, we've had no more comments on Discord.
Yeah. If you want to make new friends on Discord, you just @ everybody. They soon come. Yeah.
People won't be happy with that.
No.
Right. Am I still here? How's my audio?
Perfect.
Excellent. So ZX Guesser says, or tea if you prefer. Yes.
Tea. Dinner man, really.
It's more tea time now, isn't it? Well, it's getting towards supper, I would say. Yeah. So here is the final.
Getting towards bedtime, mate. It's getting towards breakfast.
Second tea, we're going to call it.
High tea.
High tea on the high seas. Right, so this is the last page from 75 we're going to show. And this is talking about 1976 and the planned expansions. So what does this say? Ceefax progress in 1976. The BBC's Ceefax service of news and information is to be expanded in the new year. There will be more extensive coverage of sport and finance, and the whole magazine will be updated regularly between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. during the week. The 50-page Ceefax magazine is now being broadcast on both BBC networks, on BBC One and BBC Two. So that is an example of Ceefax becoming more popular, I think, or at least being more taken up. The uptake being increased, and they were trying a few more things that actually stuck throughout the years. The idea of having a Ceefax magazine on 1 and 2, and also having different services on 1 and 2, was something that stuck around right to the end, I believe, of Ceefax, all the way in 2012. And of course here, updated regularly between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. That's pretty good. That sounds like an expansion of the time.
And there was no breakfast TV at that time. So like, you know, that you wouldn't have anything being broadcast in the mornings at all. You know, so yeah, so for it to start 8 a.m., that's probably going to be sooner than anything that's on the telly.
Yeah. I believe as well, didn't Ceefax also switch off at night time when BBC switched off?
I picked up on a Twitter discussion about that, and I sort of remember like when you used to watch the shutdown, and you'd put the teletext up. The teletext would stay up for a while, but then it would go haywire. It would flick because it was the timing signal was switched off at the transmitters, because if you didn't turn that timing signal off, the repeater transmitters wouldn't shut down. So yeah, so when they stopped transmitting, then obviously I would imagine that the Ceefax would still be going round in the carousel, but it just wouldn't be put out anywhere.
Yeah, you could get a sort of ghost Ceefax in that sense. A little bit mangled and weird. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because once it's switched off, you'd think that it wouldn't be broadcast anymore, would it? Switched off at night, then there's nothing for it to read, is there?
But then I think it was used for InVision as well before the program started. So I reckon, yeah, I'd imagine that the machinery would always be going, but yeah, it just wouldn't be going out to anywhere. You'd so like what used to happen was that shutdown in the early 90s, I think used to have like the Globe, it used to have like a national anthem, and then the page would fade out and it will go to a black, but it would be like a black a visible black, you know, like a light black, if you know what I mean. And then that would get darker and darker. Then you'd get the tones coming, and that'd be a 2-tone, you know, like flicking square wave, like boo 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 boo, like that. And then all of a sudden, it would be like your vertical holder's gone on the telly, and it would just be flicking round like that. And yeah, but if you put text on like I used to, if I was still up, yeah, it would just go haywire. You know, it just there wouldn't be any hold on the telly, so you wouldn't be able to read what you got. It would just like flick across very quickly diagonally like that with the scan lines.
Well,
So
ZX Guesser says, you know, Ceefax continued running for months in TVC after the last transmitter was switched off in Northern Ireland, just not being sent anywhere.
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sad.
It was playing to nobody.
Yeah.
Rain is also here. Hello, Rain. And ZX Guesser says, nobody mentioned bread rolls. I could go for a bread roll right now.
Oh, I avoided that because you'd probably say balms or something like that.
Yeah, balm cake.
Balms. Yeah, like a bap.
A Joe, a bap.
A bap.
An oven blossom.
A sub.
A sub, yeah, a sub. Well, subs are more
American, aren't they?
Cigar shaped, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
They are indeed. So ZX Guesser asks, have I missed anything, or has it been an hour of the usual? Well,
we'll start again for you if you like, mate, if you're late.
Right, so that is 1975. We've got a few more pages from the 70s, and then we shall take a quick break from our presentation. ZX Guesser says, go! More weather, I do believe. So is this from 1979? Hold on. Oh, no, it doesn't say. I believe this is from the later 1970s, but we have capitalized stuff here. And you will also notice that, you probably have noticed, that we've got the degrees Celsius spread
yeah.
across the country there.
Also, we've decided not to report on the weather from the Republic of Ireland now. We've decided that's a thing. They don't get any weather. Yeah, clear but cold. I'd prefer to go for cold but clear. I'm more of an optimistic person.
Right. Would you still travel to the north of Scotland, though? In the middle of winter?
Well, don't know. Probably not. But I'd like to visit Scotland, yeah. And no help.
Top of a mountain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it'll be a bit chilly. So no whole graphics there either. Do you reckon that's out of choice, Dan?
Well, I think Jason has mentioned in some of these that held graphics were supported at this time. Don't quote me on this.
But no one knows how to use them.
Yeah, but it's not been implemented correctly on this particular page, I don't think. We've got another page here, actually. Oh, there we go. Some snow appearing in the north of Britain there. Snow showers, bright periods as well. And in the south, much warmer. Sunny spells, showery rain, perhaps more persistent later on. Yeah, brilliant.
I guess it does reflect the weather forecasting technology at the time as well, because we take for granted that we get an awful lot of weather now that we're told about, because they can predict it on models and stuff like that. But they could only really go like three days ahead at times. So I guess it was quite a boon, Teletext, in a way, because they could just go, yeah, that bit's going to be all right, that bit's going to be wet, that bit's going to be cold. Whereas now, like, we'll do our nut if our app says it's raining and it's not raining in our precise postcode. So yeah, I guess it's just reflecting the the ability of being able to predict the weather as well back then. So
yeah.
I think you'd look now, wouldn't you? If that page was done there, you'd have about 68 different colours, in case somebody would complain that it wasn't the right type of weather in the area that they said it would be. So yeah, it lends itself quite well to the medium, really. And that's all you needed to know, isn't it? Do I take a brolly or not?
Do you mean that these days you can fit a lot more detail in the weather map? But back then,
yeah,
born out of necessity, it was much simpler. And
yeah, there was less weather. There was less weather predicted, if you like. So they'd say, oh well, in the West Country it's going to rain somewhere, so we'll just say the whole West Country expect perhaps rain. But now, like, if I open up my app now, I put in my postcode of where I am, and it will say raining, and then I'll put in the neighbouring postcode and it'll say it's not raining. It's too precise. Yeah, and it wouldn't lend itself to this at all.
Yeah, well, this would have only stayed up for 10 seconds, wouldn't it? You've only got a little bit of time to read the information, and then it's gone.
It's getting to the point, isn't it? That's the nice thing about it.
Yeah. Well, it does cycle around again, of course. It's only 2 pages, but yeah, things on Teletext are meant to be scanned, I guess, or read very quickly. Hence, you only get 10 seconds or so to read each page. Any more here? Oh, yes. Well, we've got some answers to something many people have asked about the music in James Burke's popular new series, Connections. Oh, right. So people must have written in to Ceefax. Well, back before this information was readily available in libraries, etc. Yeah, you would have had to write off to find this stuff out, wouldn't you, in the 1970s? And Ceefax, I guess, provided that service. So the choral music is Karloff's Carmina Burana, based on selected pieces of medieval works. So I guess a lot of people wanted to know about music, and this is something you'll see cropping up again and again on the different teletext services, even as we go into the 90s and the internet became more prominent. People still wanted to know what music was on what show. And a quick tip, if you're living in the 90s, put subtitles on because it sometimes says the name of the song and the artist.
And here's some Karma Barana.
Karma Barana.
Karma Barana.
Is that something you get from the takeaway, Carl?
Yeah, it is, yeah. With a chicken vindaloo.
Chicken Karma. Is that what John Lennon got? Oh no, that was instant karma, wasn't it? Oh, we're going to get taken off the air, Carl. We're going to get taken off the air. Copyrighted music.
Is he still alive? Yeah, probably.
Lo.
Sounds very good anyway.
Well, ZX Guesser has posted something very interesting. Some post Ceefax pages from Ceefax after Ceefax was supposedly switched off.
What?
So we should, we should have a look.
What? Yes.
What indeed? We should have a look at that in a bit. But we're still in the 70s here. We're still way behind, guys. Our technology is still primitive. Now, just wait for this to load up. 1979, and we can see that the Ceefax logo has changed somewhat. This is BBC One Ceefax from April 1979. No colored backgrounds. Apparently, Jason says, I guess the new background attribute was new in 1976, and early decoders didn't support it. So Ceefax went for legacy and compatibility. Probably a very good idea.
I love the logo. I think we should have a Twitter vote on the best Ceefax logo at some point. Yeah, that'd be, because that would be sort of like that'd be my preference, that Ceefax one.
Is it in your top 5 Ceefax logos, Carl?
It's in my top 1, I think, that one. I like that, yeah. I like that, yeah. It's very nice. But yeah, I should do a Twitter poll, I think, of vote for your favourite Ceefax logo. Unless somebody else wants to do it, who's watching, they can throw it together. I'll vote for it and share it.
Well, have you noticed that this is from Friday the 13th? Oh no, it's unlucky teletext.
Well, and Jason posted it. Yeah.
No. Actually, if you look at his avatar there, he looks like a ghost, doesn't he? Whoa!
He's the teletext.
Well, it is the Halloween special today, Carl.
It's been Halloween all bloody year, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm old Grinch.
But yes, the Ceefax index page has changed quite a lot for 1979. We've got capitalized, everything is capitalized actually, and we have some graphics mode separating the different sections, which is very eye-catching, I should say. Now, GK Max says, Carl, I think you're confusing Karma Barana with Carmina Chameleon.
Well, I'll come and go.
So the last two here in this section are from 79. Oh, we've got some more answers here. We've talked about this a little bit.
Theme music to Kickstart is by My Boogie Woogie Baby by Mr Walkie Talkie on Polydor. The address is given out on Medical Express for back sufferers. I remember Russ Abbott sketched this, so he goes, "Oh, and hello, yes, welcome to the masochists' answers to previous questions. The answer was yes, vinegar in the underpants."
Oh,
yeah,
nasty! Ooh, nasty! Ooh, nasty! So somebody says in the comments there, I'll just scroll that down so you can see it. This is how we found out the answers. Say that again. This is how we found out the answers to pop culture questions in the 70s. Write them on a piece of paper and walk down to the pillar box. Yeah, somebody would just think somebody is so desperate to know this that they wrote a letter.
I'm going to write to Teletext. I'm going to write to Ceefax about this.
Yeah, superb. And that's another thing that Mort was talking about. His idea is to try and make teletext two-way because it's naturally a one-way thing. They broadcast stuff and you read it. He was always trying to think of ways to make it more interactive, and writing letters was one such way.
Mm-hmm.
And it made teletext what it is today, I should say. And the final slide in the first part of our three-part presentation. What is it? Aha, right, now.
The BAFTAs.
This appears to be a BAFTA event that had a Teletext TV in the foyer informing delegates of the day's schedule. And here is the artwork that was broadcast alongside that. Oh, there is the schedule. So 2:30, France, 4:10, and 1788, Poland at 4:15 p.m. Videograms. I wonder what those are. Do you think that's Teletext Art, perhaps? Yeah, but BAFTA, International Television Festival, program of events on the 24th of June. And the social events, 1900 hours, wine reception at BAFTA by the BBC, followed by painting by numbers.
That's a bit dangerous after a bottle of wine, isn't it?
Oh, don't teletext art and drive, kids, or something. Demonstration of BBC digital technology in video effects by Bob Wright and Derek Slee. And there was no lunchtime lecture.
Yay!
Apparently.
Early
Yeah.
finish.
Yes. So that's pretty cool. So people who went into the foyer could watch a little teletext TV while they were drinking their wine and saying, oh, fantastic. This is on at 2 p.m.
So that was just like a whole broadcast medium for the benefit of one area in, going out on the television somewhere. Well, it's BAFTA, isn't it? I guess they're flexing, aren't they? They're flexing, going, look what we can do.
Yeah. Well, can we go back to the BAFTA artwork at the beginning there? Look at that. A wonderful piece of digitized art.
It's very nice. You know exactly what it is, isn't you? What the BAFTA gongs that they pick up. So one of them.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's so recognizable that you could tell it even at very low resolution.
Yes. And Decca got about 50 of them in their toilet, haven't they?
Yeah. Right, so that is the first part of our presentation. Oh, and hopefully we're back to the multi-screen now. Hello again. It's me. Oh, ignore that. That's my handkerchief. Yeah.
Didn't even see it until you said, I mentioned look out for my handkerchief, and I'm now where? No. I have to rewind that later.
Very unprofessional of me. I apologize. Yeah. Yes. So, if you're just joining us, we are celebrating the anniversary of Ceefax. I think we're celebrating the anniversary of the launch of Ceefax. Was it 1974? So how old will it be? 48 years
48 this year, yeah.
Yeah, and 10 years since the death of Ceefax. Now, actually, I know we're a bit out of chronological order, but let's see if we can get up that link that Alistair posted, and it is of Ceefax after it was switched off. So this is very interesting. Do we only have one picture here? Let's have a look. It was taken on the 6th of November 2012. Let's just get this working on Flickr. Has he got other pictures of this? Let's have a look. There's just one picture, I do believe. It would be great if he's posted more, but he might have. He's posted a lot of TVC stuff. I don't know, I'm not sure, but let's just show this one picture. So this is the ghost of Ceefax. It was still broadcasting after it was supposedly turned off.
It's a Halloween edition.
Oh, yes. Oh, amazing, isn't it? Pages from Ceefax. There it is. So that is what it looked like.
6th of November.
Yeah. That's quite scary, isn't it? That it was still broadcasting. So it must have been pulling in data from somewhere, presumably the BBC website.
Yeah, so they I think the Ceefax team amalgamated with the web team before they moved up to Salford. About 10 years before they moved up to Salford, I think it was BCI, and I think they were sharing a lot of data and putting that up. So it's probably going automated for a bit. So yeah, a lot of it was happening automatically.
And that's proof that you could still have teletext today. I guess more and more TVs sadly don't support teletext, but it's quite sad because most TVs in Europe still do. And we
Well,
could still have.
I think the TVs still support the teletext. I think they've still got the chip in there because it's probably more expensive to emit it for one territory. To be honest, Dan, when people plug in the Pi and they do the Teletext 2.5 test, see, I said 0.5 and not half. You know, it will work on a lot of TVs. A lot of Hitachi TVs are 2.5 and 3 enabled. So I'd imagine, you know, it's all still there. And a lot of people using Airtel, didn't they? They were on the Skybox. You could press text on that for a very long time still, and that was coming through digital in quote marks.
Yeah, I believe Airtel analog teletext was still running as of 2020. I'm not sure if it is now. But
I think that was sort of, I don't know if it stopped, but that was probably very similar to this, where it's just ghosting. It was just sort of like maybe, you know, no hand on the tiller and it was just going by itself.
Well, ZX Guesser clarifies that I don't know if this was still up to date or if this is just the content from the last day going round and around. It's just all software these days. Now, that definitely did happen with the Paramount mailbox. I don't know if you remember Paramount Comedy Text or Comedy Central Text later. They used to have mailbox with Ed. And when did that finish? Maybe around about 2012, maybe a little bit later. But they kept,
because I didn't Intelfax have Paramount. I'm not sure if they had it or not, but that's when it all finished, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I do know for certain that that last edition of Mailbox with over 50 pages of letters was still being broadcast, probably as late as maybe 2014, 2015, and you could still view it. And you could see what was going to be shown on, say, the 12th of June, 2008, in the year 2012, which was cool, because I would occasionally go through that final edition of the Mailbox when I was watching Comedy Central during the breaks. So yes, that was a fun thing. There it is once more for you on that wonderful tube TV there. Excellent.
So how was this picture taken? Do we know we know what the picture is, but was it sort of did someone go into TVC and just take a picture of it?
Looks not like sure. They did. But it says television center there.
Yeah.
So that must have been inside the television center. He's actually got a whole gallery of the TV center here.
Oh,
Central communications area. Look at these.
Gosh.
Is this where teletext was broadcast from? Look at that phone.
I love that telephone. That's lovely, isn't it?
Property of BBC CCA.
That's it.
Won't blurt out the phone number. But we'll zoom out of that.
That's the complaints department telephone. And that racks, lovely racks. Yeah, I believe the problem's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I say to you as an engineer, I think the problem's in there somewhere. Off you go.
Oh, look at that. That's wonderful, isn't it? Look at those all lined up. What a picture that is with the BBC labels. What is that, film?
I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't know what that is.
Not sure. Sound in sync coder. Pi, wonderful. All the different connections.
I feel hungry now.
Free running Rubidium. Fest, April 2011. Pages from Ceefax Daily until the end of time? Question mark. Oh, That's great, isn't it? People
That's
could still
brilliant.
go into TV Centre and see pages from Ceefax. Oh, that's lovely. That's, oh, I like that. Oh, and there's Ceefax. Look at this MRG system.
MRG. So yeah, Peter would know about the MRG systems.
A
Recently
Ceefax.
see an MRG system at a Paddy Power. They still use MRG.
And look at that.
Yeah.
Ceefax from its final day. Ceefax 74 to 2012. Yeah, we should get Peter on to explain that a bit more, shouldn't we? So that's, I assume, Hot Lips. Hot Lips reader. Oh, there it is again. What's this say? There's a label down here. I can't read it. But there's the weather being shown. Till the end of time. And there it is again. Stop coil. So that was wonderful, wasn't it? A little trip back in time to BBC.
Very good.
Television.
Yeah.
Hot Lips.
Hot Lips.
It's great that they give the machines different names, isn't it? What about Esmeralda? I believe Mort mentioned something about that, didn't he?
Yeah, he said that the inserter was christened Esmeralda by Colin, and Esmeralda was quite temperamental because she'd stop displaying new pages and would need to be regularly rebooted. So you'd disappear around about, hit the reboot button, and after about 4 minutes, Esmeralda will start behaving again.
Yeah, just give it a kick. Just like give the TV a kick, it'll get working again.
Yeah.
So many TVs destroyed in that way, mostly by me. But Teletext Guesser says that keypad was for the InVision decoder for selecting the page number, etc.
Ah. So that's where you can get your alphanumerics and all that from that we were discussing earlier. It's probably that sort of keypad.
Oh, what about the blast through alphanumerics?
Blast through, yes.
Blast through.
I think that's probably the blast through was because that was probably formatted as a complete graphics page for the ease of use. So someone, rather than turning the graphic control code off on that line, has just gone, I'll just hit caps lock and just smash through what I need to say.
I'm smashing through, yeah. Oh, I'd love to find the person who named them Blast Through, because I mean, that's one of my favorite bits of teletext stuff. Teletext lore. Apologies if I've gone a little bit jerky because my computer has stalled slightly.
You're still very much with us, Dan.
Excellent.
Still okay.
Excellent stuff. So hello to everybody in the chat and hello to everybody in the Discord. Tonight, we are discussing the anniversary of Ceefax. I'm just going to fix my camera here because it's gone very blurry.
While you're de-blurring, I'm just going to put an appeal out actually to anybody. I don't know if anyone's done any Russian teletext at all. I'm looking for an image of a teletext mascot used by the Rustext back in the beginning of the 1990s. Goes by the alias of a Mossy Bear, and I can't find anything on the internet about it. And I'd like to resurrect Mossy Bear for somebody that has been helping me with the podcast.
Mossy Bear.
Mossy Bear.
He sounds cute.
Well, he probably is cute. I think in my mind he's probably going to be like the mascot for Moscow 1980 Olympics. You know, like all cuddly and things. But yeah, Mossy Bear, can't find a sausage on him. But yeah, if anybody has got any grainy photograph or anything like that, yeah, I wouldn't mind having a look at that.
Okay, so Mossy Bear, if you've heard of him, well, this is the first I've heard of him, Carl. He reminds me a bit of Cable Cat in some ways. Cable Cat.
Cable Cat. Chart Cat. Do you remember Chart Cat was a thing, wasn't it?
Was that on Digitizer? It
I believe that was, yeah. Chart Cat, yeah.
Chart Cat, yeah.
Chart Cat.
And Chapman's charts as well. The various different charts on Digitizer, yeah. Fantastic. So, would you like to move on to the second part of our presentation?
I believe it is time.
We'll try and go a little bit quicker this time for this part. I'll try. We'll just get some of these to load up now. So right. Here we go. Of this presentation on the Teletext Sofa Club. It is the anniversary of Ceefax. And we're going to go back in time courtesy Jason Robertson, Grim Fandango, the Teletext archaeologist, and have a look at some art from 1979. It is Snoopy. Peanuts.
Peanuts.
It's Snoopy doing his
Snoopy.
impression of Groucho Marx. Design sent in by an anonymous viewer. Oh, hopefully, we've got that on screen for you now. Oh, Snoopy says, I got a great idea. Do you think that's digitized, or do you think Mort sat down and drew it?
I wonder if it's one of those ones where someone sent in something and they had to interpret it to the best they did. I know they did that gallery on Intelfax C4, but I think there might have been something similar on Ceefax as well. But it looks like it's just like a huge bifter, like a cigarette hanging out his mouth.
He has.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got a great idea. So is he like Hannibal Snoopy?
Ah, yeah.
Like from the A-Team? Like, and Charlie Brown's scared of flying. Let's go.
So there's a connection there. There's a connection there with Digitizer, isn't there? Superb. I love that piece of art, by the way. That's why I included it. A very early piece of artwork. And some more art for you here.
Oh.
Now, Ceefax did enjoy a good Formula One car, didn't it? Because if you guys that were around in the early 80s and watching Formula One, you might remember the Ceefax intro that they had with the wonderful Ceefax graphics and Fleetwood Mac's The Chain playing over the top of it.
Yeah.
So BBC very much had a good relationship with Formula One. And I always thought that Formula One cars look great in Teletext, which is why I've done 2 of them over the years.
Well, I can tell that you think they're brilliant. I mean, 2, Dan. It's unbelievable.
I know, yeah. Wow. Most of the things I've only done 1 Teletext page of, but
You've done a few yaks in your time.
oh yeah, loads of those.
That is lovely. I like that. I like that.
Is this London?
I reckon, yeah. That's is that Cleopatra's Needle? You got you've got the BT Tower, obviously official secret, and that doesn't actually exist there. And it looks like, yeah, I reckon that's Trafalgar Square, isn't it? Nelson's Column.
ZX Guesser says, I spy post office tower. Ah.
No, it's not there, mate. Sorry. This is not the tower you are looking for.
ZX Guesser says that Snoopy, hold on, we'll put him back.
Peanuts.
ZX Guesser says that Snoopy is chewing a yellow pencil with a pink eraser on the end. That's one interpretation of it.
He's having a burn. He's having a blaze, man. He's blazing in it.
You shouldn't chew pencils, Snoopy. You'll get
Lead
lead
poisoning.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, from that to this.
Ooh.
It is a sample from the Ceefax graphics collection.
Don't do this too quickly. I don't want to jump out my skin.
Press the reveal button on your remote.
Pressing it now.
Stand back. Oh, it disappeared. Oh, it's a jack in the box. A jack in the box has appeared from the box. Ah, wonderful.
That's the thumbnail.
Ah, yeah. So yeah, it's an example of the fun that Ceefax used to have, which, as you'll see, in the 90s kind of faded away. But we're not up to that yet. And Ceefax, Ceefax is still experimenting and fun, and is very much in competition with Oracle over on the other side. So the odd bit of graphicry would have been very, very much appreciated.
Eye-catching, because obviously Ceefax would have had a bit more freedom because they wouldn't have to lose the bottom quarter of their page to advertising all the time, so they could fill it with artwork.
Yeah. Well, I always love to see artwork, especially the early artwork, because teletext art from the early days has a very simple quality to it that, well, it became more complicated, shall we say, and more intricate as time went on. So Rain asks what our Discord is. So I'm just going to paste that in. I'll have to find that and then paste it in. Would you be able to do that, Carl? Do you have you have admin privileges, don't you?
Do I?
Would you be able to paste the Discord link in
I'll have a go.
the
Yeah,
YouTube chat?
I'll do that. Whereabouts is your chat? Is that on the YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Right,
So,
okay. Yep, I'll do that now.
Thank you very much, Carlos. So
No
I
problem.
will go back to our presentation here. So yeah, one of the early bits of fun that they used to have on Ceefax. And here's some more. Look at this. A wonderful graphic here of, yes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, and the letters MES are under the, what is it? It's the spyglass. What are they called? I've forgotten. The magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass.
That's it. Yes, I couldn't think what they were called. I'm thinking of Nightmare, where it was called the spyglass. But yes, Sherlock Holmes under the microscope. And Sir Arthur Conan Doyle died 50 years ago this week on July the 7th, 1930. And of course, this page is from 1980. Hello, Mr. Clown. I nearly said your name. We've not sworn yet on this edition, have we?
I said bollocks.
Yeah. Well, that's only a level 2 swear word, isn't it?
Yeah, do you reckon Mr. Clown is a level 3?
Well, it depends which is more severe. Is level 1 severe?
No, I think level 1 would be sort of like bum and fart.
Fart bag.
I'm gonna find out what the ITC levels of swearing are.
Yes. Oh, that would be brilliant. So, hello, Mr. Clown. Good to see you again. Oh, by the way, I should say that Mr. Clown has a wonderful channel on YouTube, and I've been watching it quite a lot recently. It's called Classic Game Night Fridays. And as the name suggests, each week that they're on the air, they look at a different piece of tech or a different selection of games for that tech. And it's wonderful because there's a bit of a show and tell section where they show off the actual the console or whatever they're showing that week, and then they play some games for it. So lots and lots of stuff in the archive for you to go and view. And I believe every Friday night, so that's US time, and for us that's Saturday morning at about 5 a.m. I do believe. So I've been enjoying that show quite a lot recently.
I'll check that out.
Classic Game Night Fridays, it's called.
Got a bit of swearing here then. Okay, so gratuitous use of bad language must be avoided, and that has to be defensible in terms of context and authenticity. Bad language, including profanity, Christ, shit, and arsehole, should not be included. Any music program or video before 9 p.m. and even after 9 p.m, great care should be taken to avoid offence. Any program or music video which contains the most offensive language, such as fuck or motherfucker, should be cleared by the legal department in advance. But it doesn't have a list of words on what they are, so it doesn't have like a list on that. So I'll have to delve deeper.
So you're not allowed to say arse on TV?
I think it's saying it's oh, here we are. This is ranking of swear. I found it.
Oh yes.
This is Ofcon's ranking of swear words in order of offensiveness. All right, mate. Here we go with another top 10. Do. Right, let's see if I've got them in. Okay. Right. Okay. Mild.
Oh, guys, are we going to say these swear words? Will we be taken off the air? So don't say the worst ones. Don't say the C word.
Shall I start with mild?
Yeah, please. I think we can say those.
Yes, and they've done it alphabetically as well, which is quite nice. So
Arse is the first one, I bet.
well done. Yep. Arse, bloody bugger, cow, crap, damn, ginger, git, God, goddamn, Jesus Christ, minger, and sod off.
What? You can't
Minger.
say ginger? Is that a term of offence?
Oh, don't know. Yeah,
What else have we got there? Minger.
minger.
I often get minger in Countdown. Actually, I'm always glad when they pick a rude word in Countdown.
Yeah.
Go on, continue, sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah, so bollocks is a medium one anyway.
Right, level 2, yeah.
Yeah,
Level two and a
so-
half.
So that's fine. Well, I'm going to read the ones that I don't find offensive, okay, medium, just to be on the safe side. Okay. Feck. That's never been a swear word to me. Is that like what Burke would be to some other people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Or yeah.
Fork.
Munter.
You can't say, well, you said
Or
cow
munter.
as well. I suppose that's in a certain context. You can't call somebody a cow.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
cow.
yeah.
Pissed.
I'm just saying, I was milking my cow this morning.
You
I
can't
was
say
milking
that.
my beep this morning. Oh dear, it takes on a different context.
Well, when you say you're milking your cow, I think of a Jimmy Savile joke. So yeah.
Oh, we better move on though,
No, that's
Carlos.
Okay, right, yeah. So yeah, shit's in there anyway, and then strong.
Cheese ball. Dung
Bellend.
beetle. Bellend. Well, wasn't that where the man lived on Digitizer? Belland. He lived in Belland.
Yeah.
Go on, continue. Sorry.
Oh, it's like sitting down next to. Yeah, yeah. Well, because they're strong, I don't think I can say them on YouTube. But then when I watch some YouTubes about what they comment about other YouTubers, I think there's nothing in here really that's
just say like the F word or the C word or whatever, and we can guess what they are.
okay, right.
The
Well,
other
this would
ones,
be quite interesting for anybody who's watching in Greenland who might go, what on earth is that? Is that really a swear word? So you got beastard, beaver. Beaver is a strong swear word. Yeah, bloodclat.
oh yes, that's a Jamaican one, isn't it? Is Bomberclaw going to be on there as well?
No, it's not.
Bloodclaw is on, but not
Yeah.
Bomberclaw. That's interesting.
Clunge.
What a word! Yes.
Plunge. Yeah. Anyway, you can find that on digitalspy.com, everybody.
Well, so
I
that's
wonder
a
if
swear
there's like
word.
a level. Oh, the strongest. Yeah, lots of asterisks in there, but there's only 3. It's your Charlie, and it's your Foxtrot, and it's your Mike Foxtrot.
Right.
Yeah.
What about
Muddy Funster, and Clout.
Right. See you next Tuesday.
Indeed. Or Thursday. Isn't that weird when you do say see you next Tuesday to someone, they go, what did you just call me? And you go, crikey, that's very sharp. Anyway.
It's never come up in conversation, Carl.
Any takes on Mossy the Bear yet? Have we got anything for Mossy the Bear?
No, well, people are talking about the swear words. Unsurprisingly, they love this.
Bloody children. Absolute bloody children. We'll be able to play Super Mario in a minute, get more viewers.
Beep. Right. Fudges the Clown says, what about calling someone a dirty garbage gouger?
That's fine. That's fine. Garbage gouger. Or it'll be a rubbish rustler in the, in this, be a rubbish rustler.
Yeah. You dirty garbage gouger. Arr.
You fun my wife. You fun my wife. It's an old Harry Enfield sketch there. I'd be really good watching that one.
I used to love Harry Enfield. Yeah. Do you think that his sketches have aged well, though, in some senses?
When you watch the Slobs, you just cannot believe that they couldn't get away with that today. And I'm sure there's a pound in the pot for every time some old git says that. I feel like such a boomer now because, it's hilarious, the stuff that he did. But, at the time, we just thought, it's just comedy. But you actually look back now, like with, Wayne and Waynette a Slob. It's just absolutely like near the knuckle. You wouldn't get away with it now. In fact, I don't know. Maybe I watched it then thinking, "Oh, this is so unbelievable," and now I watch it now and go, "Oh, that could actually offend somebody because there's people actually like that."
Well, I know. No, I think
He was a zeitgeist. That's what he was.
yes, things have changed. The zeitgeist changes, doesn't it? And things become more acceptable and less acceptable as time passes, don't they? So that's just the nature of the human language, I think, the human lexicon.
Did my link on YouTube go to this swearing Discord? Okay, did it? Is that all
Oh, I
right?
can't see it. It's not been held for review either. So I can post it.
Hang on, it should be up there. I'll put it in the chat, but yeah, I've disappeared now.
Oh, right. Well, I'll post it.
But I've gone up as
Sorry,
Bite High
Ray.
No Limit. I haven't gone up as Carl. I've gone up as Bite High No Limit. It's probably what it is.
I can't see it. Pardon me. Excuse me, indeed.
Hello. Right, I've posted a low. So if you make me a
yes,
thingy,
yeah, I can see that now.
if you make me an admin, or
that's why it didn't come up. I think because you aren't an admin.
yeah. So if you, yeah, I've got a spanner now.
Yeah. Excellent.
What's that? Oh, have I got to read this frequently asked questions before I?
No, don't worry about that.
I'll just close that. You just tell me what to do.
Nobody reads those, Carl.
I've been chucking loads of people out the Facebook group who don't agree with the rules, Dan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just don't. They just join the group and it goes, "Do you abide by the rules?" and they don't answer it. They think they're clever. They're not. They're banned for 28 days. They get an instant ban.
Oh, naughty people. Saying the level 3 words. Like Ceefax holidays. So, speaking of which, Sarah Burgess says,
"Hello, Sarah.
I remember when I read the Ofcom list of offensive words and gestures. I didn't know what some of the words meant. I wish they had provided definitions. It's a handy list if you want to automate filtering of comments on your blog or something." Yeah, absolutely.
I think Sarah could do a really good explainer on that, actually. She could do the definitions on a teletext page. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah, I think you could do that, Sarah. That would be a fun little project for you. Of swear words. Just a page of Teletext swear words. Just you're gonna get kicked from Facebook, basically, is what he's saying. He's level 2.5. Level 2.5 swear words.
These people that say 2.5, I don't know. You know, I'm cultured now. I'm Radio 4, mate. So yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Well done, Rain. He's seen that comment there. Lovely.
So ZX Guesser does know quite a bit about.
He does know quite a bit. You're
words,
right.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
About everything.
Yes.
But also the offensive words list.
Love the mug, Dan.
Yep. There you go.
Available from all good mug shops. 2013. That's a rare one. Is that for our Tix man?
FA Cup final mug.
Oh. Have we scared your Tix man off, or is he still with us?
Lano, are you still here? You'll enjoy that. You can still buy those, by the way, from Retrotext UK.
What was that, Dan?
Retrotext UK now selling the Ben Watson mug. 2030.
Retrotext UK. Ben Watson. What, on loan from Queen's Park Rangers? Ben Watson.
Is he? Does he?
He was. I'm sure he was. Ben Watson. Yeah. Did we either got him or gave him? Yeah.
Ben Watson.
Retrotext.co.uk, you say, Dan?
Something like that. Retrotext.co.uk. He's got the same name as you, Carl. Your Retrotext blog.
Well, that's how we all came together, Dan, wasn't it, really? Because I had the Retrotext blog, and he said, "Oh, you Retrotext?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, I do all this great art." I said, "Oh, I'll see you at the tape." And that's where it all blossomed.
Yes, indeed. Right, so should we finish our little part 2 of the presentation? We'll go a bit quicker.
Yeah, we'll speed up now. Speed up. You can press that times 1.5 speed up button in the corner. Find the Titanic. There it is. Right, next one.
There you go. That's brilliant, isn't it? Is the Titanic a reveal me do? I asked. No, I'm afraid not. Were you expecting the iceberg? says Jason. And
That's
I
just
said,
the tip of the iceberg.
well, that's much funnier than what I was thinking. I thought you could literally find the Titanic by hitting the reveal button. And that would be good. That would be awesome.
So
And-
by page like 6 of 7, would it be in the water completely?
Yes.
It's like just slowly going down.
The Titanic sinking live on Teletext. Oh, ZX Guesser says, we'd better hurry up. He's out of wine.
Oh, really? In the week. You do disappoint
Indeedy.
me, Mr. Getter. I'm gonna reach for another Pepsi Max.
I love this graphic here in separated graphics.
Can you just see the frustration in the fact that he's done the whole page and he's invested so much time in it that he wants to get that line straight and he can't do it.
Yeah,
gone, "Oh."
well, that's the best you can do, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
He's done a very good job
Yeah, he's done very good.
capturing that very sad moment in human history. And the Royal Tournament, though, yeah. Nice
Oh
little
yeah, and because
separated
it's a Royal
graphics
Tournament,
piece.
you can tell they're sort of bear skins in the background there, and the
Oh,
heads. Yeah.
Yeah. Some more art here from BB2. Here we go. BBC Two's Orbit teletext service. Now, this was Ceefax, but on Channel 2. So it was called Orbit for a while. And here are some graphics. Look at that.
That's brilliant. Lovely.
What is that? Is that
Marmite.
Marmite?
Marmite.
Yeah.
That's Vegemite for our viewers down under.
And
There's
Blue Peter.
Or
Yeah.
Bleu Pierre for our viewers in France.
A wonderful representation of the Blue Peter logo and a list of materials that you will need for the forthcoming show.
You'll need a cosh, some tape, cable ties, some chloroform, and some sleeping pills.
Is that what it says, Carl?
Yeah, they're doing a Jeff Dahmer special.
Oh dear.
I
I think we
too
better.
relevant.
Yes.
Say we come over and grab a couple of brewskis.
Here we go. A train. ZX Guesser will like this one.
Yes, he will.
This is an advertisement for some, a rare advertisement actually on BBC for some books.
Okay, any viewers, can someone get How to Drive a Steam Train by Brian Hollingsworth up on eBay? We see how much we can get a copy of that for.
I bet it's less than $2.95.
Answers on the Discord, please.
Yes, please. Yes, please. So 1981 now, we're into the 80s, and the BBC was disappointed that the government didn't raise the license fee. Oh, I think this is worth reading. News background: the rising cost of viewing. The higher license fees have been described as another savage blow to pensioners by Mr. Hugh Faulkner, Director of Help the Aged. Many old people depend on television for company, and as is their link with the outside world, he said. It was indefensible that a pensioner living alone paid the same fee as, for example, a large international hotel, which might have hundreds of sets. Now, how much do pensioners pay for the license fee these days? It's the full fee, isn't it?
I think is it free over a certain age?
Something like that, I believe. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. They should cut the license fee for pensioners. But the question of higher fees for hotels is likely to be considered. Well, we never think about hotels when we think about the license fee, do we?
We never do, Dan.
Oh, right. And this is
you only get the porn turned on at the reception, didn't you?
Well, the teletext porn, I should hope. Yeah.
Keep it blocky.
So this is the reason why I've selected this tweet, because look at this. It's a wonderful graphic showing how much the colour TV license has risen since 1968 up to 1981. And it used to be 10 quid in 68. And it has risen exponentially, I would say. And if somebody continued this graph, well, it would be off the chart, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and this is for colour licenses, because you could always buy a black and white one for a £5 or something. Yeah.
And we've talked about this, haven't we? That people still do buy the black and white license some
Mm.
people still do buy it. Was it a few thousand, something like that?
Yeah, I think some people. I don't know if it still is. I don't know if it still exists then, but yeah, right up to the end, it was still a high uptake. Yeah, black and white license.
It still exists.
Maybe they should bring something like that back for people who just watch it on the app or something. Have it as a sort of like a, because Netflix now have relaunched, haven't they? They're doing a $4.99 if you can put up with adverts, which is like £3 cheaper than their basic standard definition one user. And then obviously, I've never paid that anyway. I think I've always paid about like 10 or 10.99. So I think I'll watch them in HD.
Yeah, that's what we used to pay. But I think in the future, this is the way everything's going to go, sadly. You'll probably have to pay for iPlayer, which is a real shame. How are we going to watch QI and only connect then, Carl?
Well, and the well, what would happen is you'd have two tiers, wouldn't you? You'd have the free stuff, which is educational. So your QI and all that would still be on there, and your only connect would still be on there because that's like punishment, isn't it? Watching that. But yeah, and it's like all four as well, isn't it? I mean, that's such a great service, but the ad breaks in it are just getting longer and longer. And if that gets sold off, I'd imagine all that getting homogenized into Amazon Prime, because I can only see them being the only buyers of that of Channel 4, and it'll just be a content provider.
SQU has a clarification for us.
Thank you.
As of the 1st of April 2021, it costs £159 for a colour license and £53.50 for a black and white TV license.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said earlier, we did look on a previous Sofa Club at how many people did use the black and white TV license option, and it's still quite a few. ZX Guesser says, streaming can bite my shiny metal butt. And I noticed that you substituted the word ass for butt there. But I assume is a level 0.5 swear word, whereas ass is a level 1.
So if you can't hit a cow's ass for banjo, where exactly does that put you?
A cow's butt, I guess.
Cow's butt.
It's cheese ball.
Well, look, here's the thing. Okay, you don't have a black and white license anymore, but you should have a standard definition license. That's where we're at. We should have, like, I'm still having to turn over a standard definition to watch the news on the BBC. If I want to watch it in HD, I just get like a graphic again. Oh, this is not available in your area yet.
Yeah, good idea. Maybe those things will be considered when the TV license is potentially scrapped in a couple of years' time.
I think it will be, and it won't be for the better. It'll be just the same meat, different gravy. Whatever we pay will be the equivalent of what we're paying now. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if I would pay for it, because the only thing I watch, unless football is on, the only thing I watch is Only Connect. Really?
You actually?
Regularly.
How many questions do you get right in Only Connect then?
It depends if it's the earlier rounds. I can get quite a few questions right in the earlier rounds. And another thing is that sometimes you get clues from the competitors, and you never know whether to count that if you've got a clue from them and not got the answer all by yourself.
So I'll go on a run and I'll get it right. I'll go, oh yeah, that's so and so and all that, and then I'll be telling my other half, Nick, and she'll just be going, oh yeah, okay, anything that makes you happy, because like, it's even when you get it right, you don't think you got it right, do you? It's sort of And they go, oh, it's that classic Only Connect thing that we always do, and it's like, yeah, I mean, the people who are on it, they're proper quizzes. I mean, they're absolutely, they really boss it. They really do boss it.
Yeah.
They're
awesome, aren't they?
Only Connect answers on a Discord, please.
Yeah, we've had Teletext Only Connect on this show, haven't we?
We did, yeah. I did a really good question, and no one really sort of got it, I don't think. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was segments, I think. And then someone said that had already been done on Only Connect. Only Connect's done it.
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. Oh, well, going over to our chat, Sarah Burgess says, oh yeah, naughty words there, Guesser. Buns, for example. You're not allowed to say bum bum on television. Ooh, naughty. Ooh. Right. RetroPixels says, hello, RetroPixels. How
Hello,
are you?
sir. You all right?
RetroPixels is in Baltimore, and about a month ago, they found a skeleton in a sofa, and it was a humankind, not a coyote. Ah.
Well, they down the back of it looking for looking for some money or something.
Yeah, they were trying to watch the Teletext Sofa Club.
Oh.
And waiting for us to come back on the air. But unfortunately, we'd been taken off for using level 2.5. Level 2.5 swear words. Hey!
That's what they call colourful language.
Well, not if you have a black and white TV license, Carl.
Oh, but with 2.5, level 2.5 swearing, there'd be oranges, mauves, browns, be more colours than a Commodore 64.
Superb.
I'm struggling to find my my comments on the YouTube. I'm trying to watch it on the phone so I can react to people. So apologies if I'm not coming back to anybody. But it's, for some strange reason, I'll get the hang of this internet one day. But today it's just not happening. I'm not getting any comments.
Oh. Well, while you're finding those, we shall continue. Well, we'll try and finish this off quickly here in the next 10 minutes. But part 2 of our
I haven't
presentation.
turned comments off by accident, have I?
Oh, no, I believe the comments are still here. Yep, I'm viewing them currently. So here we have
There you
fun,
go. Yes.
fun and games.
Oh, gosh. What a
Look at
lovely
that
hat.
clown. Yeah, a nice winter hat for December. So we've got some fun games here. Oh, here we go. Awful authors. Yeah, this is why I included this. I always loved these. So do you remember these from the old books and Ceefax, of course?
Rushing for the Toilet by Willie Make It.
Yeah. Falling Off the Cliff by Eileen Dover and things like that.
That's it. Everyone Can See My Bum by Lucy Lastic.
I'll read a few of these. High Cliffs by Sandy Beach.
Shattering Glass by Topsy Sharp.
Yes. That's less good, though, that one.
Yeah.
Fraud Exposed by Dawn Raid.
I think Diving by Ed First is pretty good.
Yeah, I liked that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you to Roy Purnett of Crawley for those.
I wonder if he's still there.
Yeah. Oh, what's this?
Did you have a quiz or question there?
Yep, there were some questions.
Okay. Which English city has exactly the same name as the county it is in? Which of this?
Oh,
good
good question.
Which English city? Is it Chester? No.
Yes.
Is it? No, there's
Cheshire. No, it's Cheshire, isn't it?
Yeah.
London.
Peterborough.
Peterborough, is that a county?
In Peterboroughshire.
Lancashire.
I think it's Peterborough is in Peterborough, isn't it? Peterborough is in Peterborough.
Well, Greater Manchester. No, it's not, is it?
Well, it's Northampton. Northampton's in Peterborough as well. Oh, no.
And does the county still exist? ZX Guesser.
Oh, yeah. So it's the North Ridings.
Yeah,
Is it,
something like that.
Durham?
Well, if anybody knows that, write in and tell us.
Oh, is it Durham?
Is Durham a county? It is, isn't it?
What it was. I don't think Durham's a county anymore.
What's Northumberland? Is that related?
That was killed off as well, wasn't it? That's part of that's West Ridings, isn't it? Yorkshire.
Something like
East
that.
Ridings.
Well, if anybody
answers on the Discord, please, everyone.
If anybody can answer those, then we'll give you the money ourselves, as Mr. Grim Pandango says.
In Austrian shillings.
Yes.
Cat calls.
Next up, cat calls. Now, this graphic was used quite a lot, I believe, in early teletext. Would you like to read this joke, Carl?
What is a French cat's mistress? His poor amour.
Hey!
For more.
For more.
For more.
Great, that isn't it?
That's
I
a
love the
terrible
graphic.
pun.
I
Lovely,
love the
though.
graphic of the cat, though.
I think probably cyan's probably my favourite colour, but if you use too much of it, it becomes quite terrible.
Is this an example?
I think so. I think this is
really?
like well, for me it is. You know, it's lovely, but it's sort of like I don't know. It's like too much soup for dinner, isn't it? It's
I don't mind. I don't mind a bit of cyan in the background there. Yeah, I don't know though. It is a bright color though, isn't it? So here is
Ceefax telesoftware and the BBC microcomputer are being demonstrated at a computer fair, Earl's Court, where Chris Curry will be telling me that my computer's a load of old shit.
Oh, level 2.5 swear word. You can't say that.
But what Chris Curry doesn't know is that my computer is going to rule the world. It's more elegant and it's cheaper because it only uses half the microchips.
Hello, I'm Alan Sugar. You remember that?
I remember that.
Your computer couldn't do half the things that my computer could do. You're fired.
My computer's got a tape deck on the side.
My computer, it's got Bridget on it. The best game ever. And I've never played any of those games.
Win a prize, Model B, and the Euro mouse. For the Euro mouse, weighs Euro mouse maze winner.
What do you think that was? Do you think you guided a computerized mouse through a maze?
It's an enormous, isn't it? It's like Mr. Biffo's enormous.
Almost the enormous. We've got to get Biffo back on.
I'm dreading talking to him. Make me laugh too much. That is a lock. That is a lock.
No, one of my favorite graphics. Do you think this is Ian Irving? This is 1983, a lovely graphic of a lock. The waterways pages. The following pages list engineering works which could interrupt cruising on Britain's canals.
That's lovely, isn't it? I like that. Very nice.
This is very recently posted, actually, for BBC 100 by Mr. Jason Robertson. And Costado here says, Mr. Costado, Dutch Teletext still has a page for the current river levels. No fancy pictures, though. I liked this graphic very much indeed. And you can really tell what it is, can't you? Ceefax was very good for these types of blocky, regimented structures, I do believe, like walls.
And locks.
Teletext walls. Yeah, of course.
Locks, yeah.
Next up, industrial action is stopping viewers' letters getting to television centre from 1983. So I'll just read this. BBC addresses. Industrial action by some post office workers in the W12 area of London is seriously disrupting mail to BBC Television Centre. Some programs London. Londres. Some programs are using temporary addresses for their mail. Send your entries on a postcard to Film 83 BBC.
Oh, they've got Western Avenue.
Yeah.
In W3, yeah. Not in SW, was it W12 1AA or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
BBC video releases for December. Target, The Goodies and the Beanstalk, Top of the Pops. The Target video is a fast thriller adapted from the BBC detective series, available in VHS, Beta, and V2000. The video cassette can be rented from most video dealers or bought at the recommended retail price of £39.15. Phone 01200 0200 for more details.
Excellently read there. And just quickly, the price of these videotapes, The Goodies in the Beanstalk, £32.60. Why 60 pence? I don't get it.
I remember a friend of mine, he bought Delta Force from Mr. Video down our way, and that cost, it's before Channel 5 video and all that used to be available in Woolworths. That set him back about 40 quid. And that was like back in 88 or something. But yeah, he bought Delta Force, a rental copy. Terrible film. But yeah, they did cost a lot of money. You know, like we all think like videos cost a tenner and all that. They did, but not to start off with. You know, you either rented or you bought blank tapes and copied off the telly. You wouldn't buy. Things weren't available on videotape unless it was an ex-rental thing.
Yeah, you were rich if you had videotapes, and you would have about 3 of them next to the TV, and that was it.
And you'd get them in holders that look like books.
Oh yeah, to try and disguise them.
Make them look like books. Go, oh yes, I think I'll put the bill on tonight. I'll put the bill on that I recorded yesterday back in.
Yes.
I'll open it up. Oh, I thought that was a book there for a moment.
I thought they looked very posh indeed, personally.
But you pipe and go, yes, yes, I think I'll watch Prisoner Cell Block H.
Well, up until a few years ago, I had some of those. Yeah, they opened up like books, didn't they? The little clamshells that opened up like books.
I bet they're worth a bloody mint on eBay.
Oh, I threw them away.
You threw them away?
Yeah, red leather ones with video library on
Video library, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, you had the red ones? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Well, Mr. Clown says Delta Force, the Chuck Norris movie.
Indeed. That is the one. Chuck Norris. Brilliant. It's a brilliant. I'd like to do actually a watch along. We'll watch Delta Force. Just
is
a
it
bit
Teletext related?
No, I must admit no, not really. Which one's an idea?
So this is an interesting. Well, we think it's a clock cracker. Yeah.
Yes.
But it forms a very interesting pattern.
It looks like a tail fin of an aeroplane, Dan.
It does, and it's duplicated as well. That's great. Accidental art, unintentional art. I branded it.
Or some stairs.
Yeah. Wonderful. And there's another one here. Oh, there's page 2. Ah, well. Answers on a postcard.
Answers on a Discord.
The Ceefax explains that ASCII always had at least 1 transition per byte, which could be used to excite a clock recovery coil. Exciting clocks. Whatever next, eh? Now, we've only got a few more of these from the 80s. And we do have a part 3, but it's very short in comparison to the first 2. Now, I included this.
Oh, that's nice.
A tree trunk with eyes. But look what else we have.
V-Birds.
V-Birds. Is this the earliest example of V-Birds on Ceefax?
Yes.
If we look here, we've got Reggie's tail on 234. Reg the octopus. A very early staple of the fun and games section on Ceefax. Yeah, I like this tree. I like the detail on the leaves, and it could be a living tree because it has eyes, or maybe there is something inside it peeking out at you.
It's a Jawa.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Mr. Clown says we need to have a Walker Texas Ranger Texas Ranger watch party.
Well, that was always late night telly in the UK. That was Walker Texas Ranger. And so I never did watch that. There was that a Chuck Norris as well, I think.
Well, everything is Chuck Norris. He was in everything. Now we have Reg the Octopus from 1985. And here he is in his little car. Oh, one of the wheels has gone flat, sadly.
Oh, yeah.
Drat, fumed Reg. I promised to take Sheila to her philosophy class, and my car won't go. He's still cheery, though. He's still got a smile on his face, hasn't he?
He's very philosophical about it, then.
Oh, he's always like that.
He's got a spanner in one tentacle, a saw, a hammer, a Stilson's or a wrench, a handbook there, and a little oil can. Very nice.
Yeah. You can
Actually, the
tell what
car's
everything
quite
is.
quite nicely done. It looks just like a huge block, but actually, it looks like quite a classic car when you look at it that way.
I really like the car. Yeah, it is very teletexty, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. There's some more here. Well, Reg, said Sheila, you're going to have a heavy time carrying all my philosophy books.
Hmm.
Things looked bleak for Reg.
Is
But
that
he had a look.
is that his bird? Is it the star? Sheila Star, yeah.
It's his fish, his starfish.
Got a little snake belt, isn't she? They were all the rage, weren't they? Snake belts with a bit of elastic, snaky, yeah.
Yeah.
Snake belts, 1 ton.
1 ton book. Kent.
Oh, he's got Kent.
Yeah.
That's level 3 swear word.
Well, RetroPixel says, can we rate some swears by level, Dan? Yep, go ahead. We've been doing it all night. So please do. We've got level 1, which is not like the bums of this world, and the cheese balls. And then level 2, well, it's a little bit worse. Like, what did we have? Arse.
Yeah,
What was level 2? I can't remember now.
It wasn't that bad, I didn't
Was
think.
fudge in level 2?
I think so, yeah.
As in the potato cake, you understand.
But level 3, what surprised me, because it had bell end in it.
Yes.
And I didn't think bell end was that bad.
It's
I mean, where would you put helmet? You know, you call someone a helmet.
I don't know. Well, it could be a bike helmet.
It could be.
RetroPixel says clunt. So where would that? Well, we've had clunge, haven't we?
Yeah, clunge was level 3.
If you're watching this on the repeat, ladies and gentlemen, with the subtitles at the bottom, you can tell us which words have been beeped out.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting if clunge has.
Well, Burke. I still don't understand what Burke is, because like in rhyming slang, that actually is a very offensive word.
Yeah, Berkeley Hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Not a Charles Barkley, shut up and jam. Well, moving on. Sarah Burgess says, they are very fancy V-birds. Here.
Quite elegant ones, aren't they? There's quite a bit of detail to them, isn't there?
They're a bit more than V-birds, aren't they? Level 2.5.
They're raised eyebrows.
Yeah. Tom41 says, we used to have 2 TV licenses because there were so many receivers in the house. But we got rid of one of the cable boxes and several other TVs, so now we only need 1. Well, I didn't know that. Well,
I thought it was only per household anyway, but
yeah. Well, how many
sure.
TVs could you have on the old TV license? I don't know.
I think it was like a license to receive the signal per household, and that's where that old person was getting upset that the hotel next to him would have to pay the same.
Yeah. Well, when I was in uni in the halls of residence, you would automatically get every year these warning letters from the TV license people saying, you need one for every individual room.
Yes.
But if somebody actually, one person had a TV license, then they could have a TV in the living room and everybody could watch it. So you could go into the common room and watch it.
Well, under PRS, there was a technicality on that when they had performing rights license people. They would go into a place of work and then they'd say, well, you know, you got your radio on, you need your PRS on it, you know. So what people did was they made everybody bring their own radio in. They then all turned their radios off and listened to the one that was playing anyway. Then they could get around it on the technicality that they had all brought their own radios in, but they had all agreed to listen to one station.
Sorry about that, Carl. I'm back.
That's all right.
I just stepped away for a second. Yeah, TV licenses, they're a funny beast, aren't they? ZX Guesser says, the mail room at my college in York was knee-deep in those letters.
I bet, yeah. I bet you had a letter fire.
Yeah.
Had a bonfire of them.
Excellent.
Have a dumpster fire.
Yeah, people used to just ignore them from what I remember and just use the one in the common room. But RetroPixels says, for our next word to rate, FAC, F-A-C-K.
Yes, a fact. That would be the same as feck, wouldn't it, really? That's
Yeah,
more of a Tarquin sort of student grant type swear word that used to be in Viz.
yeah.
Oh fuck.
Oh, what swear words used to be in the Beano and the Dandy? What did this say? Crumbs.
Crumbs.
Oh, crumbs.
Helmet.
Yeah, yeah. Fack.
Fuck.
Yeah. Clunge. Clunt.
Here comes Dennis's dad. He's a right twat.
Yeah.
Never used to say that. No.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Right. So I've turned off, for some reason, I've turned off our presentation. And some more. We've got more for you, ladies and gentlemen, in our presentation. Recovered Teletext Page of the Week, 1988, courtesy Transdiffusion.
If you were ever for EFFEWEFERFRR.
Good attempt, Carl. Good attempt.
EFFEWEFERFRR. Yeah, can do it really.
So what is this? A test? What level of swear word is that?
Gosh, 4.
It's got to be, hasn't it? It's way up there. So yeah. What do you think happened there? Do you think they were just testing?
No,
people were not supposed
to. It's easy. Someone spilt tea on Esmeralda. Simple.
The swines.
The swines.
You need to be more careful. Retropixels says, last one, Tarlet.
Tarlet.
You dirty Tarlet.
Harlot.
Yeah.
Yes. The BBC has announced a review of its vetting procedures for staff. The corporation will no longer ask any staff to sign the Official Secrets Act and will vet prospective employees in 2 sections. The first will be for staff who will be expected to work for broadcast during wartime. The second will be those who work for parts of the external services of the BBC. The review follows revelations that the Observer newspaper about alleged links between the BBC and MI5.
Oh, I thought you would like this one, Carl, because it's related to secrets.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Review. It's no longer asking any of this staff to sign the Official Secrets Act.
Yeah. Well, interesting that, isn't it? How things change.
I had to sign the Official Secrets Act when I went to work for British Telecom for my school work experience.
Wow. For school work experience.
I had to sign the Official Secrets Act.
I'm trying to think if I've ever had to sign it. Probably not.
I think it was probably in case I was listening into something on the System X exchange that I shouldn't have been listening into.
Well,
By
they
accident.
knew that you were a ham radio expert, Carl.
Well, not so much of an expert, just more of a nosy Parker. But yeah,
well, you became an expert in later years. Now,
okay, rate my logo.
Basically, the beginning of the end of Ceefax, wasn't it? 1989, a Ceefax design change to the newsy format we call the Ceefax Dark Ages. Oh,
well, there was one section that was even worse than this, wasn't it? With the Ceefax down the side. That was awful, wasn't it? That one, in depth. You like that one? There's no graphics on that one either.
Well, the homepage designs are pretty good, I thought. Yeah, I mean, I like the header banner that they've going on across the top there. That's nice. That's very distinctive, isn't it?
Yeah, that is nice. That.
So that's one good thing that can be said, I think, about these Dark Ages, which I can talk a little bit more about soon. But finally, we have ratings, the top BBC programs. Do you remember this, Carl?
Yes. So I probably remember watching. I was probably watching a lot of telly that year. Actually, I'm quite surprised at the BBC font now. It looks like the A Team have been in.
Yes, the Ellis or stencil fonts.
Yeah,
that they have at the top. And viewers in millions. Look at that, 16 million people watched The Neighbours.
Well, you look at that. Look, I mean, it's not incredible. It's sort of like its neighbours and EastEnders, and you have to go to number 8 for something that's actually like that's not a serial drama, as I would put it these days.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, comedy, and you don't actually see any comedy on telly sitcoms, do you, at all at the moment? They're watching the stuff on BBC4 about BBC 100, showing all the great comedies. It's an eye opener, isn't it?
Well, let's see. There's
there
the
we
young
go.
ones on BB2.
Yes.
What else? What's Police Squad?
Police Squad, yeah. So
Yep.
that was the before
Police
Naked
Squad.
Gun. That was the yeah. So Naked Gun was from the files of Police Squad, wasn't it? MASH was good, and our version of MASH didn't have the laughter track on it. And when you watched it now on like whatever channel you got, they got the laughter track on it. It's not so great. Top Gear. Never used to watch Top Gear, really. Jukebox Jury. I don't know what one that would have been. I don't know if. Oh yeah, it would have been the original Jukebox Jury, of course. Yeah, and Red Dwarf. So this is what year is this? This is 90. This is 89.
89, yes.
Yeah, 89. Yeah, Red Dwarf. Butt Rogers. No idea. It can't be the original Butt Rogers, can it? And
he's got a brand new car.
The Friday
Looks
edition
like
of Gardener's World,
Jaguar.
which used to be before. Now, that time, so your Gardener's World, you'd have Roseanne on at 9 o'clock on Channel 4. So you'd have Gardener's World at 8:30 and then go over to Roseanne at 9 o'clock on Channel 4.
I think Mr. Clown would appreciate that.
Mm.
He appreciates Police Squad.
Police Squad.
Police Squad, yes.
Surely that's some sort of mistake. It isn't a mistake, and don't call me Shirley.
Hey. Fantastic stuff. So that was part 2. There is a part 3. It's only quick compared to the first 2 parts, but we'll have a bit of a break, then we'll get to that. And then should we try MUTTLEE? We might have some time for MUTTLEE afterwards if we're quick.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have a quick look at the comments here. So Retro Pixels says our last word that we have to rate is piss flaps.
That is actually a level 3. That is actually in there. Yes. That's been done.
Wasn't that a joke in Phoenix Nights? Piss flaps. I can't remember how it went.
No,
something like that. Yeah,
I did like Phoenix Nights. He goes, "Come to Potter World." He's like in a portable toilet. And you go, "You can run onto the hand dryers." It's like a whirlwind. And they're spraying the faces with orange.
Yeah, Potter and the Hurricane hand dryers. Kids love Potter.
What are you talking about? It's Sid the Snake.
Yeah. Was it Bobby Ball that?
That was, yeah.
R.I.P. Bobby Ball. So Mr. Clown asks, the young ones were still pulling big ratings in 89. I thought they stopped filming those in 84.
They did. It was a repeat. It was a rerun in the 1989 ones. And I've got them on tape, those ones. But yes, it did stop in 84, but rerun for the first time. First rerun, that was.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
I have the feeling that it was one of those shows that was repeated again and again, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I think it's certainly the first time I was aware that it was repeated. And then that was the same year. I think Bottom came out. Was that in 1991? I think Bottom came out. But what they did was when people were starting to get more videotapes, the ratings would be higher for reruns because people were taping it. Yeah. Yes, of course. Yeah, didn't think of that. Yeah. So, but I've got the DVD edition of Young Ones. It's worth a fortune again. Yeah. Well, it's only as much as what people would actually be prepared to spend on it. But
is it true that the Young Ones only got funding because they pitched it as a variety show,
music show? Exactly.
And initially, they would have bands on each week.
Yep. You had Motorhead on there, Rig and Panic. Yeah, quite a few on there actually.
Yeah, I
can't
enjoyed
remember.
how they would incorporate them into the show.
Yeah.
into
Oh
the
yeah, they go down the
storyline.
pub, wouldn't they? Madness be playing down there. Be going down to a kebab and calculator, and they go, "Do you know any Cliff Richard?" He goes, "You it, I'll smash your face in."
And then, of course, they sang with Cliff Richard, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Live and die.
Yeah, that was a comic relief one, wasn't it? That was 1986. They did that, so that was reprised the characters on that. Because I did a series afterwards, Filthy Rich and Cat Flap, which was like, oh, it's not a sequel to the Young Ones, and everyone watched it and said, oh, it's not a sequel to the Young Ones. So that sort of died a death. But Bottom was really good, which was sort of a continuation of characters. But yeah, it's quite strange, isn't it? Because when you watch the first Young Ones, it's sort of like Rick is the main character in it, and as you watch it, arches over to Vivian being the main character, really. But it's absolutely really brilliant, really good stuff.
Yeah, well, Mr. Clown enjoyed the Young Ones. He used to watch it on MTV in the late 80s.
Really?
He's got the DVD set as well.
Mm.
And it was great how they would practically smash cut to the bands.
Yes. Yeah, it was sort of like they didn't even know who they were having half the time. But yeah, that's so Lise Mayer, I think she went on to do Red Dwarf, I think, as well.
Oh, Kuczynski. No,
I'm not sure. No, I think I don't know. I just know the names. I don't know whether they played, but I think that was a writer, Lisa Mayer.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah,
but they and also the comic strip on Channel 4. There's a cross pollination there where you had a lot of actors, Alexi Sale, you had all the Young Ones, you had French and Saunders.
Yep.
All doing all doing their stuff on Channel 4 and being on the alternative thing on BBC Two as well, or the BBC.
On the Beeb.
But I'd be interested to know what his favourite what our favourite episodes are of the Young Ones. My favourites are Bored and Interesting.
They've got great names, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their Bottom had good names as well.
Yeah, Bottom did as well. Yeah, Burp, Gas.
Oh dear. Well, Retro Pixel says, "Hell yeah, Motorhead."
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the
Space,
Motorhead one. It's great, isn't it? Did they perform live, or was it mimed? Is a question.
Mimed.
Mimed, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mimed. Yeah.
Shame. But it was good to see.
Yeah, filmed in Bristol as well. I think as well. It's it gives you a look of a North London suburb, but I think it was filmed in Bristol.
What's this? Shrek the Third is plonking his bird, says Retro Pixels. What's that?
I have no idea.
Mr. Clown says Oil was a good one.
Oil was good, yeah. Yes, El Presidente. He gets a pickaxe in the head. Is that the one where Alexis Hale goes off into Narnia? I think he goes, I'll leave this very dangerous. Vivian says, I'll leave this this mind-altering drink here, disguised in a Coke can, because no one's going to drink it. And Alexis Hale, Axel Bolosky comes in, takes a sip of it, and he goes completely bonkers, and he goes through into Narnia. And he speaks to the little guy there. He goes, "You, what are you going to make of it then?" He goes, "Oh, come on, Shirley. Is that your name, Shirley? That's a girl's name. That's a bit of a girl's name." And it's like, "Do you have some Turkish delight, young man, child?" He goes like that, and she goes, "Oh." It's funny in my head. I'm just, it's perfect in my head.
It was great.
More Young Ones chat another night, I think. But,
yeah. Well, let's see. ZX Guesser says Kuczynski was Clerk Rogan from Altered Images.
Ah.
There's another story about that as well, isn't there? That there were two Clerk Grogans, and in the actors directory, and they initially phoned up the wrong one or contacted the wrong one to come along.
Oh,
so
right.
it only occurred to them at the last minute, we better call them and confirm that it's the right one. It was the wrong one, so they had to dispatch somebody to a train.
That's a dispatcher.
Stop it. No, go home again.
Postal strike, sorry. It's the trains.
Yes. Yeah. Right, so let's quickly finish off our presentation, shall we?
Right, yes.
We've got 1, 2, 3, we've got about 10 slides left. Call them slides. But we're moving into the 90s now. and October 94, well into the Ceefax Dark Ages. We've got a brand new header there. No, the blocky one. We're keeping it blocky. And
yeah, so we are missing that one where the Ceefax went down the side. Do you know the one I mean?
yeah, well, maybe we've got it a little bit later on. Or was it in between?
It was in between. Yeah,
Was it?
I think it was
Right.
deeply unpopular.
There's
It had,
something
in contagious graphics.
Was it?
Very
Did
nice.
people Contagious graphics?
Well,
I
you
like
know,
that. Yeah.
yeah, contagious.
I knew what you mean. But
Contiguous.
I knew what you mean.
Separated.
But I understood.
Segregated.
But Contagious graphics
Yeah.
is
Contentious
it's
graphics.
a great name, isn't it? Contagious graphics.
Write that down.
Oh yeah, I shall. I shall. Yeah, there we go.
That's a new podcast channel.
I am actually going to write that down.
Contagious what graphics?
Contagious graphics. We're both writing it down.
I'm writing it down for you though, Dan. So
thank you.
Did I overmod then? Am I overmodding?
No, what have you done? Have you done something?
No. I think it's just I've got new earphones in and they're just like rattling.
You've got a great microphone compared to mine.
Why, thank you very much.
Oh yes, proper radio mic.
Thank you.
Right. So ZX Guesser says, you mean the editions, Carl, from 1991-ish? It wasn't Ceefax down the side, it was the name of the edition. Daytime, evening, etc., if I remember correctly.
Why, of course, that's correct.
Yes, you're listening. Casey Kasem, or whatever.
Movies. Teletext.
Brilliant. Right.
Okay.
So there's something interesting about this. This is not Ceefax, rather SSVC. This is the Forces Teletext service provided by the Services Sound and Vision Corporation from 1994.
Sound and Vision.
So I guess you would have seen this if you were abroad in Gibraltar or somewhere.
On the BFBS service.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Just hold
British
on a second.
British. Oh.
There we go.
Sound and Vision.
David Bowie ran it. Oh, right. So this is especially for Rusty Russ on Twitter. Did you ever do this, people out there?
Oh, yeah. Interlaced the mix with the Envision.
Pages from this sends your eyes funny, doesn't it? But
it does.
Pages from Ceefax. Did you ever superimpose the actual Ceefax broadcast over the top of a Pages from Ceefax broadcast? Because this is what would happen. A wonderful 3D magic eye effect.
That's contagious graphics for you, then.
Yeah, yeah, there we go. Wonderful. I like that. I like it a lot. So we're going to look at some level 2.5 or 2.5 now. 2.5.
2.5.
All the right colors, just not necessarily in the right order.
Oh,
now, this is what it looks like.
Teletext show. Yeah, very good. One of 46. Crikey.
Different mappings here, apparently. That doesn't look so nice, does it, really, that one?
No, well, that's the Welsh one. Oh, the brown, that's Commodore 64, isn't it? All over.
Yeah. But that's how it's supposed to look.
Commodore 64 text. Yeah, that's better.
It's the holly. Wait, it's... Yeah, white holly berries. Is it white?
Mistletoe.
Mistletoe. Oh, that's it. Yeah, mistletoe, of course. What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of holly, then.
Of a holly.
Or deadly nightshade. Was it? He said. Was Homer said? Was it? Leaves are free, let it be. Leaves are 4, eat some more.
You can see the level 2.5 enhancements are quite crisp on
nice.
parts of the bow at the bottom
Rounded
of
graphics.
the screen.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Wonderful. The level 2 palette. Good to see that. That was 94.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Telefax, the BBC's internal teletext service. Now, it was like an intranet for teletext, and only people with the appropriate television sets could get it because it was broadcast in a different, well, it was broadcast in the VBI, but a different part of the VBI. So it was a separate service. And if you were in, for example, broadcasting house, broadcasting center, you could see it. And we've got a few pages from that here. I believe we've got some more. Here we are.
No,
More viewing figures for you.
the real viewing figures, not
Yeah.
the real ones. It's sort of like 6
Real.
people watched that, 8 people watched that.
Yeah, not for public broadcast. Noel's
Yeah.
house party, though. It's quite low down, though. Look at
Yeah.
that, the lottery. Oh, I remember that when loads of people used to watch the lottery and they introduced lots of game show type gimmicks along with it. I used to watch that.
They all thought, yes, because everyone thought they could win it.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
I used to tune in for the game show part, really. I thought that was fun. Did they still show the lottery at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night on BBC?
No,
No,
No.
they don't, do they?
no, I think Channel 5 had it for a while.
The Channel 5 had the lottery. That...
I think,
that's-
have I just made something up that's really made your head blow up?
Yeah, honestly, if that's true, then that's
Yeah.
huge if true.
Huge if true.
Huge if true, yes. So, Teletext, here we go. This is the equivalent of Charivari in the 90s, in the dark ages. So, BBC Wales.
A referee had to abandon a soccer match in North Wales because one of the players was drunk. Simon Newport halted the Clwyd Penrith Division game after 64 minutes when Aberlour Celts leading Colwyn Bay YMCA 2-0. An Aberlour player fell over the rail and he went to take a corner and he found to be under the influence of alcohol. Mr. Newport said he halted the match for the player's protection.
Yes, so I assume this guy was going around punching people because you could have just subbed him off easily. Just take him down to the bar. Come on.
He was
get
the
rid
manager.
of this
He
guy.
was a player manager. God damn it.
Yeah. Sadly. So yeah, Abergele Celts versus Colwyn Bay YMCA.
It's always fun to play at Colwyn Bay YMCA.
It's always fun.
I wonder what their goal celebration was.
Yeah, the drunkenly, yeah. Brilliant.
Mind you, wouldn't it be funny you're actually losing to a team where there's a bloke actually half cut playing in the opposition?
Yeah. Well, playing against members of the village people would be funnier. Yeah.
You know, your motorcycle cop would be in goal.
Yeah. The cowboy, centre forward, probably.
Anyone help me? Am I sad for loving Aha? Enlighten readers and clever Ed. Please tell me what you think. I hope someone tells me I am sad, then I will snap out of my ironic crush.
So this was the BBC equivalent of the magazine, but I believe this was just for music.
Yes.
And look at these embarrassing takes here. Oh dear. Are New Order ever gonna return? Electronic and Monaco are okay, but not a patch on the real thing. Well, yeah, well, I enjoy them all for their own merits, but you know.
When are Garbage releasing a new album or single? I'm only happy when it rains.
Was that out by then? 97?
Yeah, Garbage 2.0 was an album, wasn't it? That's good.
Level 2.0. Level 2.0.
I think it was in an orange case, or was I'm confusing that with the Pet Shop Boys.
Brown 2.0.
Right, okay, so we've got Peter from Huntingdon. I don't know what Huntingdon advert would be. The Doors were a great band. My other choices would have to be the Sex Pistols, a band who made people literally change the way they led their lives.
Yeah.
Also, Claire 25/3. No way are Ash a true punk band. Oh, Contagious.
Those numbers there are referring to previous editions. So
I see.
Claire
yeah.
from the 25th of March
Yeah.
said something about Ash being
She
a
probably
punk
said,
band.
Ash are a true punk band.
Yeah,
Ash are,
probably.
yeah, they're true. Can anyone tell me when Blur's next single, Song 2, is being released? Well, we can do now, from the benefit of the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Song 2 was released in 1996.
Richie Edwards is the best songwriter this decade. I'd love to see him back in the Manics.
I think the Manics would like to see him back in the Manics.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Yeah.
Samuel, but I don't think he's going to be back, unfortunately.
That's quite sort of like a hypocritical sort of little letter there, really.
Yeah. Right, so I included this because it's the rival to Digitizer's Chapman's Chart Cat Cavalcade. And
Encarta 97,
yeah,
number 2.
This is from
Is this
1997.
Encarta and the Unstoppable Sex Machine?
Yeah. Magic the Gathering as well is there at number 10. Flight Sim. Oh yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm sure that was in the top 10 a lot, all through the 90s. FIFA 97 on PC. God, that must have been awful.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Raider.
had FIFA
Champions.
97 on the Mega Drive, which was interesting by that point. They just kept re-releasing the same game over and over. I had FIFA 98 on the Mega Drive as well.
I think I played a lot of Command and Conquer, actually. I think on my muscle memory, I can still get like the bombs. I think it's up, down, up, down, up, down, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and you'd be able to see the map and things like that.
Would you do a Let's Play, Carl, on your channel? Would you do games?
No, I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't know how to plug it all in. I think, don't you need like a magic sort of box or something like that to do it?
If you've got a PC game, then no.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I think this thing would fall over, Dan, to be honest.
You can use, oh yeah, your computer. I was just going to say.
I could plug my console in.
Yeah.
I never played a computer game properly. I mean, like, you know, so I'd go and buy a game and I'd go, well, I'd make sure there's a poke for infinite lives before I bought it. You know, the fear of failure, that is. I've got a whole theory about that. Whole theory.
Well, Mr. Clown says he loves your voices, Carl.
I'm glad someone does. My family's next door. They think someone's being murdered, mate. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, that's the first time I've managed to. I'm glad you was witness to a whole teletext page of Welsh without breaking out into some stereotype of another race in the subcontinent.
I thought you were going to say without breaking into song like a Welsh voice choir.
Yeah, I like your version better.
Here, the BBC has taken all reasonable steps to ensure that the Eurovision and radio broadcasts will not be affected by the so-called year 2000 bug. We have published some Q&As about the bug on Consumer Web's page. I shall not read that out, including other sources of information on the bug, like some Marcus headlines. Viewers without internet access may request a paper copy of the information by calling our usual number, which is 0181 811 8181.
01181 818181.
Was it? And then they changed it, didn't they? 081 811 8181. That's it.
By one digit, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, this is from the turn of the century, 1999, when people
the Millennium Bug, Y2K.
Yeah, people were scared poopless, cludgeless of the Millennium Bug. And look at this, even the BBC had to print some stuff to say that they're being careful in regards to the Millennium Bug. Well, everybody did, didn't they? And that might be why it didn't take over. That's why the aliens didn't take over. Yeah.
I think I proposed to my wife on New Year's Eve 2000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I bet that was really...
I was in Basildon, of all places.
Well, I was just going to say that's really romantic, but Basildon...
Langdon Hills.
Fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
Congratulations.
That's all right, isn't it?
On 22 years.
22 years?
Yeah.
Crumbs, yeah.
Where does the time go? So Mr. Clown says, do you remember the Magic commercial where they talked beep about video games and video game players? Then the following year, they came out with the PC game. Oh, yeah. If you can't beat them, join them.
Well, this is it.
Yeah. And RetroPixels says, Command and Conquer, Carl, hell yes. Spent many hours with the Brotherhood of Nod.
Yes, and that was the cutscenes as well. They were really good. You know, it's sort of like, but yeah, I cheated all my way through it. I never got to the end. It just got like, you know, more and more tiresome. But I was that sort of person that just kept making factories of people on level 1, and then just like send them all into not even all attack. I'll do a death by 1,000 cuts. I'll send a platoon in just to kill one soldier on their side and then withdraw. You know, it's like really I think Franco was the same in the Spanish Civil War. Apparently, So,
Ah,
yeah, he would sort of plod along and not actually just finish the job off. But,
so he was your role model with the game, was he?
well, I don't think I studied him in any great depth, but when I watched a documentary about how he conducted some of his campaigns in the Spanish Civil War, I thought, yeah, that's how I used to play Command and Conquer.
Ah, right. Did you ever see Time Commanders on the BBC?
No,
I think it was
no.
about 2000-ish.
Right.
And they used Rome Total War 2, I think. And they covered up the fact that it was a video game and said, look at we've got a simulation here. It's our very advanced simulation. But it was
I
just
think I
Rome
remember,
Total War
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
And they would play I used to love that because it was like Games Master, but covered in this BBC veneer of educational stuff. But I loved it. It was video games, really. Video games. Right, so sad stuff now, sad stuff, because we come to the end of Ceefax, and there was this page that said, well, go to BBC I instead, because we've cut down the pages on Ceefax.
If you're hungry, eat cake.
Oh, don't make me hungry. You're making me hungry. I want cake now.
I could do a mince pie, actually.
Mince pies for main meals. Yeah. It's nearly...
In Wigan, you have everything in pies.
Yeah.
Pies.
Pies, yeah.
It did make me laugh, though, when I come up to see you at Wigan, and it's like, oh, a Wigan pie shop. Oh, I'll try that. And then, like, you come out, and the first thing you see when you walk out is out the pie shop is another pie shop across the square.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think you mentioned that on the stream that we did. I need to remaster that and put it out because it's got some bad stuff in it, so I had to take it down.
Oh right.
It's got naughty things in it. It's got pixel chat line stuff. So
right, yeah.
I'll remaster that and put it out. It's a good social document. And here we go. Ceefax on show at Teletext Block Party 2022, which brings us bang up to date for the history of Ceefax. In other words, we brought it back. We successfully brought it back.
Oh, brilliant.
So shout out for Nathan Dane, by the way, who has recently been in the news again, hasn't he, Carl?
What, again? As in like he not only has he brought back like Ceefax and got everywhere, is he back again?
He's back again and again and again.
Oh yeah, because there was an article in the Guardian.
That's right, a more detailed article this time.
Yeah, actually, taking him taking him quite rightfully more seriously. I think we all got sort of a mention, didn't we, as a community?
Well, it was good to see Teletext in the media again, and I'm guessing that's one of the secret things that those other people in the Teletext community couldn't tell us about, isn't it, Nathan? Hey, Nathan's back. He heard his name.
It's like a bat signal.
Yeah. That's excellent. He says returns and immediately hears his own name.
We've just been saying his name over and over again since you left the room.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Oh.
Yeah, so that was a great article that you can go and find. And it's not behind a paywall. It's The Guardian. I don't know the name. I've forgotten it. How Teletext is continuing or something. Is it about Ceefax specifically? It might be about Ceefax. So yeah, we've all got a de facto shout out in that. Oh, it is.
That's the page.
Oh, well, you know what? I'll put that up so we can all see it, eh?
Yes.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
I'm going to put a little emoticon onto that.
Retro Pixel says, report to Nathan quarters. Yes, Nathan's quarters with his cat. Oh, Discord crashed. Rusty Russ is here. He says,
hello,
evening all. Hopefully I'm not too late tonight. You're not late at all.
Never late.
Still got some fun stuff coming. In fact, I'm just about to show you the most fun version of Ceefax that everybody loved. Well, everybody hated it, really. And we've also got a picture of the Millennium Bug, which I'm going to show you. A Ceefax picture by Ceefax. Mr. Ceefax himself. ZX Guesser.
Mr. Ceefax.
Yeah, well, who is Mr. Ceefax? Is it Mort Smith, really? Ian
yeah,
Irving,
I'd say it was, but
Colin McIntyre.
Colin, I think what I've sort of noticed with with what we're doing is it's sort of like the age of teletext. So you've got the pioneers who are like, you know, the proper Ceefax Oracle foretell type people, and then you got the second, well, not second generation, but with the Teletext stars, aren't we?
Yeah.
But
Teletext
I haven't really used that term because that's a term that I coined, and there's, you know, I'm very well aware of that. I was quite late to the rejuvenated scene, so I wouldn't want to dub us all Teletext stars because it's not really, although it's a term that I'd quite like. I don't think, you know, you had Alistair Buxton doing all the work, which ZX Guessers now, you know, working with, and Jason and everybody else as well, David as well. And then you got the artists like us, well, you know, artists like you, Raquel, Maz, and Jedica and people like that.
Yeah.
And it's getting to the stage now that you're sort of like afraid of missing somebody because there are so many people now that are in the ring, you know. So it's quite fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. There's people from all different areas of the teletext spectrum bringing their own stuff to the community, and that includes the wonderful artists. And get well soon, Mr. Horsenberger. I hope your wrist is doing okay these days. Is putting him out of action, sadly.
Yeah, did he have sort of like a carpal tunnel or something?
Something like that. Yeah, it's a shame. Well, it's a shame. I hope Teletext didn't actually cause that. So this is the old Ceefax from early 90s, and ZX Guesser has posted that for us. Now the bit at the side apparently changed according to the time of day and week.
Daytime and stuff like that, used to say.
Now a lot of people look at this and think, oh, disgusting, because it represents that era of teletext, Ceefax, which was very staid and serious. But actually, Russ, I was listening back to my interview with you, and I mentioned something in that about the first block party in 2016, when I was speaking to a guy who worked for Ceefax around that time. And he said that the reason why it went all boring in the early 90s is not because there was some sort of malicious mandate to get rid of all the graphics and say, oh, they're wasting space. But rather they wanted to take a different approach to the opposition, to the oracles, the teletexts of this world, and sort of be the polar opposite. They concentrated on just the news aspects, which, well, a lot of people hated, but then equally, an equal number of people say, well, see, that's all you needed with Ceefax. It was to the point, it was uncomplicated, and that's how they remember Ceefax in the 90s. So the best of both worlds, or the worst of some worlds, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they've gone straight to the point, haven't they? That's the thing with it. They're straight to the point. But I don't know. I've just put a picture up on the Discord there.
I've seen that. Yeah, don't throw your Ceefax pages away. Oh,
actually finding that in a skip.
Here's the Millennium Bug image by Guesser. Oh, very nice indeed. Reminds me a bit of the Robot Wars logo.
Yes. Yeah. You better stay indoors for
Robot Wars. Yes. With Craig Charles.
Craig Charles. Bit of clack instead of can in the back of a cab.
Yeah. So let's have a look at the comments. Rusty says, it's a grey area for me. Wasn't there that talk that Ceefax moved to the news department, hence why it became all newsy, etc.?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, that's probably. We said earlier about that's BBC I was very much a thing, wasn't it? Before the red button, there's the BBC I, and I think that's when it all took over. Or not? They merged. They amalgamated.
Yeah, something like that. ZX Guesser says, all sorts of different teletext people, you might say. Ah, well,
indeed.
Carlos.
It's very much on brand. Well done. Thank you.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Teletext People, the new podcast by Carl. My friend here, Carl. Oh, and MUTTLEE just crashed as I'm trying to get it to work. So, yeah, Carl, your new podcast is available now, isn't it? And can you tease anything that's coming up?
I can. Basically, I've got somebody else lined up to be published on very soon. And it's going to be a mixture of big names and people who aren't so big names, but they're all going to have interesting stories nonetheless. But there are, doing the work for this, there's been some unlikely people that I've managed to get time with some very interesting stories that have not been shared out in the teletext scene before. So there will be episodes of people that you wouldn't expect, and there's some from our old favourites as well. So it's a case of basically just not putting them all out at once and seeing how we go, really.
Well, it'd be good to see those coming out in the coming weeks and months, because the Teletext Sofa Club might be taking a hiatus after next month. Now, we've got this edition, which sadly could be the last of the year. Hopefully not, fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Next month, we've got a pre-recorded edition for you all. And you all know it's the Max Headroom incident, because we've talked about it for months, and it's finally coming in your ears, as Peter Kay might say, next month, in advance of the 35th anniversary of the Max Headroom edition. Hack thingy.
Yes, incident.
Whatever it's called.
Yes.
Incident. Yeah, that's it. Well,
Incidents.
SQU has to go. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. It's been good to have you with us. And thank you for staying with us for so long.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot. No, I appreciate it. Definitely.
Putting up with us. Yeah, cheers.
Cheerio, mate.
Going back to the newsy era of Ceefax, certainly as a 12-year-old in 1989, says Rusty Russ, it was a big culture shock to see it all change. And yeah, that's it. That's all he says about it. Yeah, well, I've always known Ceefax as the serious version, because I would have come across it after the change in the 1990s. And I always knew Channel 4 as the colourful one.
Yeah, definitely. Channel 4 was the one that was still fun.
Mr. Clown says November the 22nd, never forget. Yeah, well, I'm hoping to upload that edition at least a couple of weeks in advance, maybe earlier.
Well, we need to get in. We need to get in first, because we've got red hot theories.
Yeah, well, Carl has a particular theory which nobody out there has come up with. And it's very interesting, actually. If you watch the show, you'll be able to see the ins and outs of Carl's theory. And it's a very intricate one. And I can guarantee that you've not heard it before. So tune in for that.
And it'd be interesting to get some world perspectives on it as well. Because, why would a chap in England have that particular thing?
Yeah,
if you search hard enough on Twitter, you might find a couple of wackos, but that's about it. That's it. Yeah. No, it's good. Looking forward to that one though, Dan. It's I'm going to be watching that. So is that going to be available on the YouTube channel?
It's going to be on YouTube and possibly the Teletext Art feed. Well, yes. I'll try and get that uploaded to there, but I need to finish the episode first. We'll sort that. Mr. Clown says, I can't wait to hear it. Yes.
Well, we hope not to disappoint, mate.
Neither can I. Right, so one last comment here before we go to the next segment, the final segment. Nathan Dane says he enjoyed the first episode of your podcast, Carl.
Oh, thank you, Nathan.
People.
Well, I've got to officially invite Nathan on to actually participate in it, but I just I'm hoping he will agree.
I'm sure he will. Well, have we said where we can find your podcast, Carl?
What
do we search for?
Okay, right. So what I'll do is if I do the website, where are we? Because it's not as easy as you think. You see, if you go on, Okay, right. So if you go on the podcast feed or whatever and just type in Teletext People, it should come up. But if you don't want to do that, you can type in Byte High No Limit, and it will come up on that. And if it doesn't come up on that, you can try Sunspot Stories. Right nightmare, isn't it? But yeah, it will turn up. Let me just look. I'll do a live demo. Here. Look. Okay, right. So it's on Apple. And it will look, the icon will look like that. You see that there? Now, okay. You've gone very quiet, Dan.
Hello. Right. Well, I've put, sorry about that. I was on mute. I've put a link to the podcast edition in the YouTube chat so people can have a look at it. And that is the Byte High No Limit Teletext People episode.
Yes, that's it. And that will be there. And then it's also available on Podbean, which is quite a not bad little thing as well for Android people.
Is it Sunspot Stories on Apple Podcasts?
I think it comes up as Byte High No Limit on Apple.
Right.
And then it sort of comes up like that on Podbean.
Macrobytes. No, that's not you, is it?
No, Byte High No Limit. But if we post a link up to the Mort podcast, then I'm sure if you just follow it.
Yeah.
But there is a website where you can just listen from the links. So if I just do that's, if you go to sunspotstories.podbean.com, that will do it. That will do it. I don't know. I can't share it to you, can I?
It's okay. I've put that in the chat so people can find it.
Brilliant.
Right, so I believe we should move on to our final segment of the show tonight, guys. Oh, because ZX Guesser says, can we order it on cassette by sending a stamped addressed envelope to blah blah blah? Yeah,
you can. I'll do it. I'll do it. I've posted it on the Discord now anyway, so it's there. You have to just have to put it on the thingy bob now on the YouTube. But yeah, I think it will turn up if you just like do a search for Teletext People. It will come up. It's beginning to show up a lot in the algorithms and all that now.
sunspotstories.podbean.com.
Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, that will take you to where you can listen to it on anything you like. It's got loads of logos on it.
Superb stuff.
Is that
and
my
here
skip?
we go. Oh yes, Ceefax has been thrown away. No, with all this other garbage. Ah dear. Is that a garbage gouger? Are they garbage gouging? I don't know.
That's a skip.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Right, so we move on. A dumpster. A big kahuna dumpster.
Oh, that's lovely, that.
We move on. Oh, well, we're going to try this. It might crash horribly, but we're going to give it a go because everybody loves MUTTLEE. And even if we get 5 minutes of it, it'll be worth it to have it back. What do you think? So, it's been blanked. Somebody has been there already. So I'm going to post this in both the YouTube chat and Discord, and we'll have a go at it. Who knows if it'll work? But it's now available to edit. I hope. I'll give it a refresh and see what happens. No, a service unavailable. Oh,
it's gone.
Yeah, the service has become unavailable. Oh, it's a little bit off and on. It's MUTTLEE is alive. Gordon's alive. There we go. Bottoms. So it's kind of working, yes. Excellent. But we have to code it. We have to type in the codes, I believe, first to set it up. Is anybody having a go at this? Bottoms. Right, so tell me if this breaks down. Oops. I mean, it's already broken down. I've done it wrong.
Oh, hello.
There we go. Oh yeah, I did it wrong. Oh, somebody's in the bottom corner there. Superb stuff. It kind of works.
So how do you use it, Dan?
Ah, yes, of course. Sorry, I forgot to mention, didn't I? It's been so long, I've forgotten what to do. Right, so if you load up the page that is linked in the YouTube chat and Discord, you will come to this, hopefully. And you will be able to edit by hitting the escape button and going into this mode. Then you can see the cursor, you can move that around. And if you use the Q, W, A, S, Z, and X keys, as something crazy has just happened, then you'll be able to enter that. Let me demonstrate that. Q, I think it's already gone crazy. I think it's already broken. So you can see somebody's written bums. I don't know how this has happened, but well, just go crazy, guys. Let's see what we can make out of it, eh? Yeah, Q, W, A, S, Z, and X, rather. They will twiddle the pixels, and you can also hit the caps lock and go into blast throughout the numerics mode. Now press bum hole and edit this. Everything has gone. Oh, you're not supposed to use space because that brings up the sidebar. Well, we'll just have a go at this. And I've just probably erased somebody's artwork from the bottom corner. Where's the escape key on my phone? Asks Mr. Clown.
Oh,
Sadly,
poor
it's
clown.
not. Oh, it's not available
It's
on
not
phones.
phone optimized.
No. Do we have any Teletext? Oh, sadly, whenever I hit the space bar, this thing comes up at the side, and I don't know how to stop it. Oh, there we go. Somebody's cleared it.
Oh.
Ah. Well, even if it doesn't work, we can have some fun.
How'd you get back into graphics then, Dan? If you're just in alpha.
Do you mean how to enter graphics mode? How to put
Yes.
Well, hopefully people won't have to do that because I'm entering the codes now, probably incorrectly. And every time I hit, oh, well, how does it look on your screen, Carl? Has it wiped?
No, it's exactly, well, yeah, no, it's not on mine. It's I've got another page. I'm on page 131. What page are you on?
Oh, you're on 131. I'm on 130. Yeah. So let's see what's going on 131, shall we?
Not a lot.
There's nothing there, is there?
Well, no, there was like a cheat sheet and stuff like that. So I reckon I was. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. I think we might have erased the previous artwork.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, there was nothing on 130 before we started, I'll tell you that. This is from Christmas, isn't it? Obama fried onions. Go back to this. Here we go. Someone's doing a Space Invader. Oh, it's going mad. Somebody's helping me draw the man. It's a mug.
Oh, I know. It's happened again.
Oh, has it gone crazy?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get graphics going on.
There we go. Are you on 130 now, Carl?
I am.
Yes. How does it look to you?
There's a mug there with W's and I's.
Hey, so it's all sort of working. Oh, need to code his head as yellow. What's it? He'll have a hat, I think. Sarah says, I don't think MUTTLEE is actually fixed. Well, something gives me the impression that that is true. But until it breaks down, we can have some fun.
So how do you get into graphics mode? I've just stuck QW on that. Is there what
Do you want
control
me to
code?
code it? Yeah, it's escape.
Oh, you're... Yeah.
There, I've done it. I'll try and do the whole grid if we can get it to work. So, has somebody drawn a tower in the bottom right there? Oh, I've wrecked it. Sorry.
Oh, no.
No. You'll have to fix your tower. Gonna do his other ear, I think. It's a double mug. Hey. I think he has to have a hat, this guy. Mr. Clown says, Peppa Pig looks a little pale.
Oh.
We could do Peppa Pig, couldn't we? His hat's on fire. Let's do that.
Oh, his hat is on fire. So you're still on page 130?
Yes. Why is it not working for you?
No, I've gone. Yeah, I'm
still.
still.
Is it completely broken?
It's broken for me.
No.
That's fine though. I'm rubbish at this anyway.
Somebody's drawing a nice picture in the bottom left. That's coming through nicely.
That's the telecom tower, that isn't it? I reckon that's Mr. Mr. Guesser with his head his that's Mr. Guesser there with his telecom tower.
So it's kind of working for some people. That's a nice little drawing. Is it a girl in the bottom left? Oh, it's disappeared. It was all going so well. See if it comes back. Oh, yeah, it's come back. Hey. So we're still having problems, but we will try our best. Oh, that's from earlier, isn't it? It looks a bit funny now. Oh, it's all crashed. Oh, what a shame.
Is it sort of like is it demented now? Is that the problem?
Well, I do think that the MUTTLEE software and the hardware actually is probably getting on a bit now.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter did say that it had been fixed.
Mm-hmm.
It probably looks different for different people at the moment.
Mm. Different versions of the truth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Just like the news.
Just like the news. Just trying to make things work here. My computer's decided.
It's possessed.
My computer's decided to break.
Oh.
That's all right.
Nathan says it's possessed, which is very appropriate for Halloween. Whoops.
And coming up later on the Teletext Art podcast.
I should give a quick shout out for the Teletext Art podcast, which has actually had some new episodes uploaded.
Yes, you've
been today, in fact. Yeah. If you missed the start of this episode, you can go to teletextart.co.uk and find the link. In fact, it's right there at the top at the moment to the newest episode, which is the interview with Carl and Mort Smith from Block Party 2022.
What did you do to get the graphic equalizer on that? Did you just film a graphic equalizer going up and down?
I just stole the picture from YouTube, stole the video, stock footage.
Oh, I might use that for some bits.
It was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, it moves up and down, rather than just having a static image. Yeah. Well, and you can get that for any length you like, or do you have to loop it?
It's a 30-second clip, and it is free to use.
I wonder if there's some sort of graphic equalizer you can run it through anyway that can just be recorded as a graphic equalizer.
I wondered, does anybody out there have a graphic equalizer that they can film and we can use for the Teletext Art podcasts?
Yeah, because I won't mind using that as well, actually. There must be some sort of software you can run your MP3 through, and it gives a graphic equalizer output that can be videoed.
It crashed again. Oh
Man. So I had to go at doing a little bit. You know, I did the face on the mug, and I put the eyes above the W's.
oh, it's a witch in the bottom left.
Okay. Do you want to? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what the 19th century word for a witch was in Essex?
A Wiccan.
A scratch faggot.
Well, what level is that? What level swear word is that?
Well, it's level 0 unless you're going to get chucked in the water by the Witchfinder General. Yeah, but no, it's on these tapes that I've been looking at. There's I've got some ghost stories. Scratch faggot. That's what they're called.
You need to tell us. Can you tell us about that, Carl?
Yeah, yes, yeah. So basically, I think I've probably explained a little bit to Alistair as well. Actually, to whoever's been caring to mad enough to listen, but there's a box of tapes that have been passed through the family where they recorded stories and all that to preserve the local dialect of Essex, and they've just resurfaced. And I've listened back to them, and the people that were actually on the tapes were, I mean, they were hitting about 80 or 90 back in the mid 60s when they were recorded. So I'm actually getting a snapshot of East Anglian life back at the turn of the last century. And yeah, I'm finding some absolutely amazing stuff. It's like digging open a time capsule. So that's another project I've got on the go where hopefully we can archive a lot of these interviews and take them to an academic and make some podcasts about them.
Ah, superb. Will they be on the Sunspot stories, or is that going to be a separate project?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be a part of the Bite High No Limits because it's just like a hobby that I've got. But I think I'd owe it to the person that went to the effort to record them in the first place, to try and get them used for what he intended them to be used for. You know, as an academic thing. But the interesting thing is that they mention events and things that happened in local villages. Where the local historical societies of those villages would be very interested to know about them as well. So it's more of a social history thing again. So it will serve plenty of purposes, hopefully. It's just amazing. And that's really, I listened to the tapes and then that's when I thought about, I've really got to sort of like try and record what people are talking about Teletext, because it's exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing, you know. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Ooh, bananas.
Yeah, it keeps wiping the whole thing whenever I try to do stuff. So it's sabotaging our artwork. But I do like the witch and the BT tower.
Yes, I like them. They're contagious graphics.
Yeah, the contagious graphics, brilliant.
You could have the logo C and then a G, so Contagious GFX. A new band, Dan's new band.
Yeah. We'll form it with Jason Robertson.
What I like about watching MUTTLEE is even when normally I have to duck out, but when I look at what's been done the day before, it gives you a perfect snapshot of all the shit that we've chatted all the way through. I never thought that someone would be thinking of putting the BT tower up.
Yeah, well, what other stuff? But usually they've been a document of what we've talked about in the show, haven't we?
Exactly. But yeah, it's like a
mostly
dream,
Ceefax.
isn't it? But because normally we've got their happy accidents, haven't we? Bob Ross.
Yeah, Bob Ross. Why is it orange? That's weird. Since when did Teletext have orange?
Oh, we've had that before, haven't we? Oh, it's gone green now.
Everything's gone green. Oh, it's not letting me do it. It is a battle, ladies and gentlemen, to use MUTTLEE. I'm trying to do. Is it Mr. Strong from the Mr.
Yeah, that is Mr. Strong, but he's not square enough.
Well, he now looks like a tomato sauce bottle, so that's what I'm going to turn him into.
So what was your favourite Mr. Man book growing up?
Oh, Mr. You know, I don't remember them.
I only had one.
Mr. Uppity.
Yeah, Mr. Uppity. That's who I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr. Uppity, me own arse.
Yeah. There he is.
Wow, he's turning it. So he's got like a bit of overbite now.
Oh yeah, he's a Simpson, isn't he? A Simpson character.
He's selling shrimp to his mate Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, didn't we talk about that last time?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was yeah.
Oh, I've turned the top of the TV so I'm green now. It's a bizarre hat.
That's a non-copyright image.
It's a bargain basement, Mr. Man. This
His
tower
nose,
officially
his
doesn't
nose
exist.
looks very phallic. Oh, hello. Oh no. What have you done?
Trying to fix the tower.
No.
There
Was
we
that
go.
Alistair who did that tower?
Yeah. You know what? At the end of this, I can go back and do a little collage of all the different bits before they crash. That would be interesting.
I like the way that it's got an inbuilt sort of what is it when things slowly
Obsolescence.
decay? Yeah, no, when things slowly decay. What's the word?
Heat death of the universe.
Oh, the word will come back to me tonight on my toilet visit.
Inbuilt something.
Meiosis.
Ah.
Meiosis. It's got an inbuilt meiosis, isn't it? It's a myopic teletext service.
Yeah, Raquel Myers did a teletext project called Myopia for the Future, didn't she?
Sarah says orange means it hasn't been saved. The data hasn't been saved on the server yet.
No, it means it's level 2.5. That's what it means. 2.5.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame about the witch.
It's a shame about the witch. It's really a shame.
You know we're going to get censored tonight for all the bad words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, will we? This is
Probably.
on YouTube, isn't it?
I know, but
how can someone ranting on about another YouTuber swear 150 times a minute and call them all the level 3 words under the sun, and you're worried about someone typing in bumhole or MUTTLEE?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the 18th century word for witches.
What, scratch faggot?
Yeah, that. You're not supposed to say that, are you?
Well, that's what it was. I mean, you know, okay, yeah, I know exactly what sort of territory we're going. I'm not gonna fall into that elephant trap. But
well, I knew what you mean.
It's interesting. I thought it was QI.
So why scratch?
Don't know really. I can look in the entomology of it.
Yeah.
Or that's the study of insects, isn't it? It's the entomology.
I always get that mixed up.
I always get me insects and words mixed up. Right, I'm going to type that word into my search engine. Scratch. I'll bet it's
be
one
careful
word.
Doing that. Such words.
Okay, you ready?
No, go ahead though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me just accept the cookies on this stupid site.
No cookies in teletext.
The Witchstone of Great Lees. Near this allegedly haunted pub, you can find the spirits on the rocks. St Anne's Castle in Great Lees, Essex is supposedly the oldest licensed inn in the country. Blah, 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 blah. Anne Hughes lived close to the Great Lees in the 17th century, was very likely familiar with the already ancient inn that sat on the crossroads. In 1621, she was found guilty by Chelmsford Court of practicing witchcraft. Most individuals charged with witchcraft were hanged, but Hughes was also accused of murdering her husband. Well, that was unlucky, which was punishable by burning at the stake. Denied a Christian burial, Her remains were buried on the spot of her execution, the crossroads shared with the inn. Both the inn and the burial site adopted names to these events. The inn now became St Anne's Castle, and the location of her burial became known as Scrap Faggot's Green. Scrap Faggot.
Oh, right. Is that
Scrap
different?
Faggot being a corruption of the East Anglian Scratch Faggot, meaning witch.
Ah, yes. Ah.
Crossroads were commonly used to bury those denied a Christian burial at the time, as such executed as criminals. There is some debate over why there was such a case. Some argue that crossroads belonged to nobody. No burial cost would need to be paid. Others posit that crossroads were chosen to confuse any returning spirits. As it was customary in the burial of those believed to be witches, a large stone was placed over the site to trap the spirit in to mark the grave. The stone remained in place throughout the centuries until World War II. In 1944, American forces arrived to aid the war effort. With them came large vehicles and equipment. Unfamiliar with local legends, the commanding officers decided to widen the roads. However, to the distress of the superstitious locals, this involved moving the stone from the Hughes' grave. Local legend took hold after human bones were found beneath the stone and seemingly cursed events began to take place. Great Lees, an area dependent on agriculture and farming, was heavily affected when their chickens stopped laying eggs and cows no longer produced milk.
No.
Livestock began escaping without any clear means of doing so. The spirit believed to be that of Hughes even affected the church, with bells ringing at random intervals. Able to endure no more, the villagers insisted the stone be placed over the grave. It was found broken, so a large fragment was chosen as a compromise and reinstalled. The unwelcome events promptly stopped, and the legend goes that the stone remains in place to this day. Though the inn is said to be haunted by her ghost, the rest of the village has had peace since. There you go. Little ghost story there for Halloween.
Ah, excellent.
So there's your scratch faggot and scrap faggot. So scrap faggot was the Suffolk word, and scratch faggot was the Essex word.
Ah.
So, there you go.
So we can hear about those things in your forthcoming series.
Yeah, and not from me. They're from the people who describe them very well and read them into a tape.
Okay.
So
it's cool that you've got those.
Yeah,
a real historical artifact.
Well, there's another ghost story on there as well about there's a little tidal causeway called the Strood that goes from Colchester way to Mersey Island, and it was a Roman settlement, Mersey Island. They used it as a health spa where returning soldiers would rest and recuperate. And there's a mound at the end there, and that got disturbed, and it was a ghost. I mean, it was obviously described a lot better in the ghost story, but you can hear the marching of a Roman soldier there, even to this day, up and down the Strood.
Strood.
Yeah, the Strood. So yeah, it's some interesting bits and bobs, really. Quite. And I was extracting these to bloody Audacity. It was daylight, but I was by myself. I was literally wearing my brown trousers. The way that people can spin a yarn, that is a dark art. How to actually tell a story, and you're sitting there just captivated by it. Really are. So yeah, bloody SpongeBob. I've had no mention yet of any scrap faggots.
What in the artwork? You mean?
I've got a witch. Yeah.
Well, that's supposed to be a ghost that I've drawn there. It used to mean something to you, but
Das ist fantastisch.
Oh no, I've ruined it.
He's
got an arm. He has an arm now. Looks like a monster maze, 3D monster maze.
Yeah.
That's appropriate for Halloween, isn't it?
Monster maze.
3D monster munch. Help me. Bloody SpongeBob.
Bloody SpongeBob.
I hate him. hiatus. What does it say?
Anyone talking on the YouTubes at the moment, Dan, at all? We're not missing any comments.
Mr. Clown says, Witchfinder General, a great old school metal band.
Yes, and Witchfinder General was only buried. He's buried in Manningtree, and there's a ghost walk up there. I found out. Manningtree's just up the road from where I live, and that's where he presided. The Witchfinder General. Right, old nasty piece of work he was.
Mr. Clown says SpongeBob fell into a vat of ketchup at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's Mr. Krabs now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Mr. Krabs.
I'll tell you what, very skilled, very impressed. Oh, you're going to do these little antennae.
Yeah, I need to remove that, don't I? Because I'm pressing spacebar, it doesn't like it. There you go, that's all.
Lovely.
What colour are his shoes? Are they green? I don't know. It's changed from Mr. Strong to SpongeBob to Mr. Krabs. It's an evolving artwork.
It's dynamic.
I think the glitches in MUTTLEE are part of the art. Because you never know when it's going to wipe it.
No.
Oh, and there you go.
It's funny that he did it on cue. He saved it to the server and decided to mess around with it a bit.
Yeah. So yes, coming up soon. In fact, it's there now on the Teletext Art feed. Is an old interview with Jason Robertson from April last year. 35 minutes long. It's worth a listen, I think. And we've got another one coming up, probably at the end of the year. I've re-edited Rusty's interview from 2016, I think it was, maybe 2015. And I think that will be broadcast as part of these celebrations. Is it 40 years? 30 years since Oracle left and Teletext took over. So
yeah,
that's
all the anniversaries are coming in thick and fast now, aren't they? So yeah. Oh hello, Witch had a winky.
It's supposed to be the
broomstick.
Broomstick, yeah,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
ain't
hard
gonna
to
work.
make it look
Yeah,
good.
you need to start the you need to put a break in where that broomstick's coming out.
Oops, I've got
He's
rid
got
of
a pole
that.
up his ass.
Well, a level 1 swear word. Yeah. Rusty says, is it edited down to 2 minutes? Well, it's about 40 minutes, I think. That's awesome. It was good listening back to it because I'd forgotten everything that you said. And we didn't talk about National Teletext Day because I think that was before.
It wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Boo! Oh, my ghost has completely disappeared. Ooh, bananas, sweet and peanutty. Oh, that's one heck of a recipe, isn't it? Oh, I've just broken it somehow. Miracle. Well, I did draw some bananas up here, but they've disappeared.
They've been eaten up then.
They've been swallowed.
Cheese ball.
Yep, bananas, sweet and peanutty cheese ball.
Lovely.
Yeah, 30 years since Oracle went. Yeah, so we will rebroadcast that for you. And then who knows what else?
We need to find some Oracle people. That's Ceefax people. Oracle people were harder to find.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Now, I remember somebody posted a funny comment on a video about Oracle. They used to work there, and they said they would take every opportunity to insert rude words. Brilliant. I think it's a comment on one of my videos.
Bit of grass there. Very nice.
Tom Scott. Incidentally, we asked Tom Scott if he would like to be a guest on this show, and he politely declined, but it was great that he got back to us.
Oh.
Because I think most people on YouTube, if we asked them, wouldn't even dignify it with a reply. The lowly Teletext Art podcast. But, yeah.
Yes. Lord Buckethead doesn't speak to us anymore.
Oh, why not?
I think he's too famous now, isn't he? He goes on Times Radio and all that now.
And now he's the Prime Minister of the UK.
Yeah, he's far too. He's hard to. I've reached out to him a couple of times. He just ignores me.
Oh yeah, well I can message him for you.
Yeah.
We talk a bit about Buckethead on my edition of the Teletext People, don't we?
We do. We do.
That's a bit of a promo.
Because you're a teletext person, and without you, his profile will be a little bit low. Oh, what have you just done there?
Nothing. And I think that might be it. That might
That's
be
it.
the end of our artwork.
Yeah.
It's MUTTLEE has decreed that is it, unless
That's
we can
it.
get some of it back.
That's it. Well, I'm going to say thank you to everybody.
Oh, right, yes, it is.
And
Wow.
And because it's almost like tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, it's probably time to go now, isn't it?
I'm going to call it a day. So, but thanks everybody for coming to say hello, and catch up with you soon. Remember, if anyone knows of Mossy the Bear, I'll need a picture of him so we can recreate him for somebody. And it's been really good to catch up with you again, Dan. And hope we can do another one together sooner rather than later, mate.
Yeah, I think we should, or you should keep your Discord and Twitter to see when the next time we'll be back. Because we're not sure yet. But like we said, Max Headroom edition coming up next.
No, definitely. And goodbye to everyone in the chat. Goodbye, Sarah. Who else we got in there?
Rusty, Mr. Clown, Guesser,
Clown,
Nathan
Guesser,
Dane.
Nathan as well.
Great show, dudes. Knuckles the Clown says, great show, dudes.
Oh, thank you very much, Knuckles. And then I'll and Nathan and Sarah, I'll be in touch because I need to get in touch with you guys. So
are you going to get in touch with Rusty?
Yeah, could do Rust. Yeah, no problem at all. So
Rusty says thanks for tonight. Been good listening to you both.
Oh, thank you. No, it's all good fun. I can see all typing away there. Actually, I could probably see a lot of this if I minimise the window. Yeah.
GK
bye.
Mac says enjoyable as always. Thank you both very much. And Sarah says bye.
Bye. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, no, that's great.
So I think we should say bye as well.
Yeah, I think I've got to say sayonara.
Sayonara. Keep it blocky. Yes.
As long as I could figure out how to maximise you, which is there. No, you've maximised now, so that's good. But yeah, no, thanks, Dan. I'll catch up with you sooner rather than later, eh?
Yeah. Cheers, Carl.
No worries, mate. Bye, everyone. See you later. Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Right. So
leave is down here. Bye.
See ya. Right. So Carl is leaving, and I will be too very, very soon. So I'd just like to thank everybody for participating tonight. Nathan Dane, Lano, right at the top of the show, talking about fanzines on Teletext 4 hours ago. Andreas, if you're still watching, cheers, Andreas. It was good to have you here. Who else? Borussia Doormat, what a name. Who else? ZX Guesser jumped in. Rain, thank you once again. Mr. Clown, cheers. It's been great to have you here. And everybody go and check out Mr. Clown's channel, Classic Game Night Fridays on YouTube. I really enjoy it. And in the past, I've done a couple of pieces of artwork for it. So a healthy endorsement there, I should say. Please do check that out. Cheers to Retro Pixels and putting in all of those naughty words for us to rank. Who else? I think that might be it. Rusty Russ, of course. SQU. And of course, everybody in the Discord. GK Mac, Tom41. Cheers, Tom. Good to see you back again for the stream. Sarah Burgess. Who else? And that might be it. So thank you to every single one of you. If you missed the top of the show, you can catch the Mort Smith block party interview on teletextart.co.uk. And actually, once this stream is finished, I'm going to publish that video that I played, so you can check that out. The one that we were talking about with all the graphic equalizers on. So you can sit and be mesmerized by that. And that's about it. So cheers. Oh dear. Keep it blocky, sayonara, and all the usual stuff. We'll see you soon. Cheers. How do I stop the stream?